Yes, Newport confirmed a couple of loan signings yesterday. Jack Evans from Swansea has come in, and he is amongst the substitutes. And there's also been a bit of shuffling of the squad as well, with the visitors, Brighton, who've brought back a few players from loan as well. It is January. It's a time when players are on the move in the Premier League, and both coaches here have put out a team which they feel will be strong enough to progress to the fourth round of the FA Cup. 54 league places between them, but Newport has forged this reputation as cup giant killers in recent seasons, bringing Tottenham to a replay, beating Leicester here, and this is Newport's first game since Boxing Day. They've had 15 days off. Their last two league games have been postponed due to a waterlogged and then a frozen pitch, two separate incidents. This is their first home game here since December 19th, and we've been talking about the quality of the playing surface. There was a rugby game played here last night, this stadium which is owned by the Welsh Rugby Union, and there was a match because it's their ground. They can decide when they want to play, and there was a match with Ospreys and Dragons playing here in the Pro 14 24 hours ago. So that's why there's so much sand. That's why the pitch is not the sort of snooker table bays that the Brighton players especially will be used to. And in the absence of a home support to get behind Newport, maybe, just maybe, this playing surface can be the leveller. Rodney Parade, which normally has a capacity of 8,700 behind closed doors tonight. But the reason we're here, the reason the television cameras are here, Jade, is because there could be a cup upset. Who better than Newport to ruffle the feathers of the big boys?
Well, let's hope we get a good match.
So the players take a knee ahead of kick-off. The message is no room for racism. This is only the second time these sides have met in the last 50 years or so. They faced each other in the League Cup 7 years ago. It was known as the Capital One Cup back then. Newport beat Brighton 3-1 at the Amex Stadium. That was just at the start of Brighton's time at their new ground. We are underway here on 5 Live this Sunday evening, this 7:45 kick-off. Tom King, the goalkeeper for Newport. 3 central defenders, Scott Bennett, David Long King and Mickey Dimitru. And then there were wing-backs Liam Shepherd and Ryan Haynes, with Josh Sheehan and Matthew Dolan in the middle. Jamie Devitt and Robbie Wilmot pushing forward, and Padraig Amond, who turns 33 next week. He's been their top scorer for many seasons, close to 150 senior goals in his career in England for the Irishman, and he leads the line up front. Free kick to the home side, away to our right hand side, just outside their penalty area. Brighton's team of Jason Steele in goal. He's not played in the Premier League yet, but he's in the cup again. 3 central defenders, Ben White, Lewis Duncan, Adam Webster. Al Wazira Jahanbash, the Iranian, will be on the right hand side. Right wing back Solly March on the left, Pascal Gross and Yves Bassouma in the middle, with then I think Neil Mope playing just off Andy Zakiri, and Alexis McAllister, the Argentinian, also joining the attack when he can from a Brighton point of view. Brighton try to come forward here. The flag is raised. If Jahanbash is to be a right wing back, he's playing more like a right winger at the moment. He's right up there. It looks like he's on the right hand side of a front three at the moment, really, but Graham Potter does like to float his players around a lot, and we could see a lot of movement in formation from the visitors tonight. Newport in their orange and black, Brighton in their blue and white. Newport playing from right to left as we look down. Brighton play the ball forward. It goes out of play on the far side, and that is out for a throw-in. David Long King, who's 25 years of age, yet to start a league game for Newport. He's only made a couple of substitute appearances in the League Cup so far, but he is in from the start tonight against the Premier League opponents and playing as part of the 3-man central defensive system. Liam Shepherd, who's played in all but one of Newport's league games this season, takes the throw. They work their way up to the halfway line, and the ball goes out of play for a throw-in to Brighton. Solly March, who's been a regular this season, recreated himself a little bit as a left wing-back this campaign, but has looked very comfortable in that position as Bassouma, under pressure, rolls it back to Lewis Dunk. And Dunk to the right-hand side to Ben White, under pressure from his opposite number, the other number 3, Ryan Haynes, will turn and give it back to the goalkeeper. And Brighton trying to get an early feel of the ball, an early feel of this bubbly pitch, and evidence of it there is Alexis McAllister's pass, which set off in the right direction, but 3 or 4 bubbles later, and suddenly Solly March had to change his run to get back and make sure that he would get possession. Ben White has it again, midway inside the Newport half. McAllister now on the right hand side. Good challenge by Mickey Dimitru on him, but he won't hold on to the ball for Newport. And possession with Ben White on the right hand side, and into the penalty area. There was a dart forward made by McAllister. Newport with an important interception, and then they clear it long. Dunk will backpedal. Oh, it's a poor sloppy touch, and in is Amand, and he hits it wide across the face of goal. A let off for Brighton. Newport so close to opening the scoring with their very first chance. One sloppy pass, Jane Ludlow, that's all it takes.
What?
And Amand should have scored.
What an opportunity that was. The first few minutes has been all Brighton, to be fair. They've switched a couple of times, they've got the edge of the box. Newport pinch, gone really direct up to the top, up to Amand, and to be fair, it was an awkward one because it was on a fairly good angle, wasn't it? It was a tight angle, but what a great opportunity to get an early goal for Newport.
3 minutes on the clock. What an opportunity. And Newport, who scored after only 5 minutes in their last game, the 1-1 draw against Crawley, they nearly scored there. I think the bubble helped create the chance. The bubble then might have made it a little bit more difficult for Amand as he tried to strike it. He just wanted to get a bit of bend on it across the goalkeeper into the far corner, and it just didn't curl at the end. It just flew straight and went 2 yards maybe wide of the target, but what a chance. 0-0 at Rodney Parade between Newport County and Brighton Hove Albion in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, as Solly March brings it up to the halfway line on the far side from us, gives it into a Mali midfielder, Yves Bassouma. Now a long ball forward, trying to pick out Neil Mopay. Scott Bennett was backpedaling on the edge of his penalty area. He wins possession, and Liam Shepherd will clear it away down the right hand side. Shepherd, who was involved in a big cup upset a few years back. He was in a Peterborough side that won 3-1 away at Aston Villa in the 3rd round. Ryan Haynes here, who was in a Coventry side, beaten by Brighton 3 years ago in the FA Cup. That was in the 5th round. Here he is taking them on in the 3rd round with his current club. Newport County have got possession of the back, but that will do their confidence the world of good. Mike Flynn's team with the best chance so far, Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we were expecting Brighton to set up with their back 3, and right now it definitely looks like a back 4 they're playing with.
Oh, that's a mistake at the back for Newport. Bassouma will pounce upon it, and he's got Pascal Gross with him just outside the penalty area. Tries to hook in across towards McAllister, who's going to step out of the penalty area to keep possession on the far side and give it back to Bassouma. Good touch to weave away from trouble, the pressure that was trying to be applied upon him by Scott Bennett. Brighton holding on to possession here, using their Premier League quality. McAllister again back near the centre circle now, helps it on to Lewis Dunk. You can see the markings from the rugby pitch, where they've just basically painted green here, a completely different shade of green to the green grass. You can very clearly see the rugby markings as Jahan Bash tries to get a touch just outside the Newport penalty area, and the ball is cleared away and out for a throw into Brighton on the right hand side. Brighton players wearing black armbands this evening. That's in memory of Sue Addis, who's a popular figure around the Brighton club, who has passed away. She was a restaurant owner in the city. Back when times were very tough for Brighton, that restaurant used to sponsor their shirts. I mean, it says an awful lot about, when's the last time a local restaurant was the name of the sponsor on a shirt, but it just shows that at various times local businesses have stepped in to help Brighton in the past, and they are remembering her this evening, having passed away this week. Sue Addis, big supporter of Brighton Hove Albion in the past. 0-0 here on 5 Live for the BBC. Earlier on we brought you Tottenham's 5-0 win away at Marine. There was a huge gulf between those two, only about half the distance between these, the 54 league places, as Brighton try to come on the attack down the right hand side. Zakiri is beaten to the ball by Matthew Dolan on the edge of the penalty area, and then it's cushion headed down for Solly March, and Brighton will look to bring play back into the Newport half again. And Jane, they're still teasing each other out here as the game settles down.
Yeah, they are, and it is definitely a back 4, but obviously with Brighton pushing their fullbacks very, very high when they're in possession and playing with them pretty much as extra wingers out there. But when they are then attacking the opposition half, they're leaving their 2 centre-backs up against Amand, and what Newport are trying to do when they do pinch is they're trying to play fairly direct down on the outside shoulder of those centre-backs. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get any success from that today. But right now, they are having to defend quite a lot.
That's the voice of Welsh coach, former Arsenal player Jane Ludlow, watching this game with us here on 5 Live this evening from Rodney Parade as Brighton go down a cul-de-sac down the left wing and the ball goes out for a goal kick to Newport. Their goalkeeper Tom King, who's wearing bright shade of purple, away to our right hand side. He was in goal for an EFL trophy match last season, which Newport played against Brighton's under-21 side. It went to a penalty shootout and Newport won that game on penalties in the EFL trophy. There's a foul here on Ryan Haynes, and he's just taking some extra strapping off his socks. Looks like he's put a little bit too much on there. It's like a rugby player weaving off loads and loads of adhesive strapping off his ankle. As Matthew Dolan takes the free kick, trying to spray it out, looking for space on the far side with Liam Shepherd. Good delivery as well, good control. And Shepherd now being put under pressure by Solly March, just to retreat back into his own half. Really good play from March to win possession back for Brighton, but he can't hold on to it. He's appealing that he was fouled. Newport trying to counter-attack. Robbie Wilmot isn't able to control, and the ball goes out for a throw-in on the far side. So Tom King, the goalkeeper for Newport, Bennett, Long King and Dimitru, the defenders, Shepherd, Sheehan, Dolan and Haynes, David, Wilmot and Amon. That's the team for Newport. Jason Steele, the goalkeeper for Brighton, with White, Dunk and Webster. Then Yahanbash, March, Gross and Basuma, Mope, McAllister and Zakiri. Still 0-0 as Jason Steele, who's played against Newport in the FA Cup before. The Brighton goalkeeper faced him in the third round 5 years ago when he was at Blackburn. He plays the ball out. It's calmly over the halfway line with Ben White. Tries to play a direct ball up to Neil Mope, who was on the edge of the D. And then down goes Josh Sheehan, and that is going to be a free kick to Newport, midway inside their own half, and the League Two side are doing well. Jane, nothing fancy, just getting the basics right in the early stages here.
No, they're not getting much of the ball right now, but they are defending very well in their own half, and no obvious opportunities for Brighton so far.
So, free kick taken by Matthew Dolan, comes down on the edge of the Brighton penalty area, headed away by Adam Webster. The ball falls for Ryan Haynes on the left-hand side. Scored his first league goal of the season against Crawley in Newport's last game. He can't get it into the penalty area here, and Basuma's done well to launch a counter-attack over the halfway line. Plays a 1-2 and then rolls it in front of Jahan Bach down the right-hand side. He gets into a crossing position. Here it comes, right-footed towards the back stake. There's no one there. Solly March is arriving. Up from left wing-back. He's got 4 teammates in the middle. Sends in a left-footed cross, headed away by David Long King. And Newport fully cleared their lines with Liam Shepherd. That was dangerous. Really good from Basuma, playing the 1-2 and then releasing for the first time Jahan Bach down the right-hand side. Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, good numbers forwards quickly from Brighton there, winning the ball just in their own half and breaking so quickly. But look, Newport have dealt with it. They've got pretty much everybody bar them on back in that box within a few seconds. So look, they're up for this match tonight.
Yeah, by the way, at the moment on 5 Live Sports Extra sister channel, you can listen to live NFL. Tennessee Titans are at Baltimore Ravens. That is live right now here on 5 Live. We've got the FA Cup third round, Newport County 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. I mentioned that Marine 0, Tottenham 5 game, the 5 o'clock kickoff. You can watch the goals of that on the BBC Sport website right now as Jahan Bach tries to attack the Newport penalty area, and it's cleared away by Mickey Dimitru, only as far as Pascal Gross. Right-footed ball back into the penalty area, headed away by Dimitru again. Then held up in the midfield by Jamie Devitt. He will pass it to the right wing-back, Liam Shepherd. And then under pressure from McAllister, Shepherd clears up to the halfway line where Wilmot isn't able to make it stick, and Brighton win back possession once again. And here they come through the midfield with Pascal Gross out to McAllister, who's got 2 caps for Argentina in the past. Wilmot will only be able to put the ball out of play, so Brighton get an attacking throw in down the left-hand side. It feels to me, Jen, that the visitors are trying to inject a bit of pace here, but maybe finding it difficult to do so.
Yeah, no, to be fair, they do fairly well, because I think the one thing you do have to do when you're the higher-ranked team coming into a cup game is you've got to get that tempo up to what you're used to playing against, and at times, the lower league outfits can struggle with that, and right now Newport are struggling a little bit, aren't they? When they are getting on the ball, it's 1 or 2 passes and then possessions being turned over again.
That NFL game, by the way, Baltimore Ravens leading Tennessee 17 points to 10. We've got a number of NFL playoff games in the coming weeks on 5 Live and Sports Extra. We've also got the Super Bowl next month, as Dimitru here inside his own penalty area shows a lot of calmness under pressure just to nod the ball back to goalkeeper Tom King. And 5 of his 6 appearances this season have come in cup competitions. He's been given his chance tonight by the Newport coach Mike Flynn plays it out right-hand side. Newport keeping the ball on the deck but giving it away. And here is Jahanbach inside the centre circle. He's got 3 or 4 teammates ahead of him. He's got pressure though right in front of him from Josh Sheehan. Basuma makes himself available for Brighton. And now it's played down the left-hand side. Solly March, who's got a trick or two up his sleeve, but unable to wriggle away from Jamie Devitt, and that goes out for a throw into Brighton attacking position down the left-hand side. Newport County 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0 here. Earlier on today, Barnsley 2, Tranmere 0 in the FA Cup. Bristol City beat Portsmouth 2-1. It finished Chelsea 4, Morecambe 0. Cheltenham 2, Mansfield 1. That one went to extra time. League 2, Crawley beat Leeds United by 3-0. That's been the big story of the day. 62 places between Crawley and Leeds United. What a result that is for them as Solly March gets in across from the left-hand side. That was dangerous for Brighton. Jahanbach beaten to the ball though. Good defending by Ryan Haynes. Brighton get it back again 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area with Ben White. Rolls a low ball towards the edge of the D. He was looking for Neil Mopey, but Newport have made sure they got a whole crowd of bodies there, and they are able to clear it away. It goes out for a throw-in to Newport at the halfway line. Jane O'Donnell.
Yeah, a bit of respite for Newport right now because they're dropping deeper and deeper. They're going into kind of a 5-4-1 shape, obviously defending the edge of the box very well right now, and yeah, they need to get a foothold in the game right now. You know, they're renowned within the league they're playing in, you know, getting the ball down and playing through the thirds. But right now, you look, the people who are managing to retain possession are the back three and they're switching across. But as soon as they're trying to play through this Brighton defensive organisation, they're struggling right now.
As a top flight club, Brighton have never lost to a 4th tier team in the FA Cup. Newport County 0. Brighton and Hove Albion 0 here so far with 10 minutes on the clock. Offside decision given in Brighton's favour. They take the free kick and Yves Basuma rolls it low to Ben White on the right hand side. Ben White is up against his old club tonight. He spent the 2017-2018 season on loan here at Newport. He knows all about Rodney Parade, every bump and bobble on this pitch, I'm sure. There's a clearance. It's controlled by Scott Bennett. It wasn't the greatest clearance from Tom King. It was lashed at Bennett, but he controlled it outside his own penalty area. They attack down the right-hand side, Newport. Long ball, Almond will chase after it. Webster gets there comfortably ahead of him, and he'll roll it back to the goalkeeper, Jason Steele, who's wearing bright green. Away to our left-hand side. Steele gives it back to Adam Webster, who played against Newport 3 times before, all when he was a player in League 2, when he was with Portsmouth. And it's good pressure being applied just there by Jamie Devitt, who didn't allow any room for Webster to try and clear the ball away, but it doesn't fall for a Newport player, and Brighton will now clear with Basuma to March on the far side. Back again to Yves Basuma. Decent pressure now for Newport as they tried to pin Brighton in a little bit and not allow them move so freely into their own half. Still 0-0.
Yeah, and it's one of the areas of the game I think this season Newport have done particularly well with. You know, their transitions to defend and their pressing game has been effective.
Here comes Zakiri. Basuma played the pass ahead of him into the penalty area left-hand side. He tried to cross it first time, blocked by David Long King. It'll come back to Basuma here, 10 yards outside the penalty area, but he goes for goal. It was dipping, it had a sting, but Tom King at the second attempt, the Newport goalkeeper gathers it safely. It was worth the punt from Basuma just to keep the goalkeeper honest.
Yeah, and Brighton are doing really well right now, aren't they? They're moving the ball quickly, they're getting up into around edge of box area, and it's worth a try because actually I think he probably had about 9 orange shirts in front of him at that point, so it was worth a try.
Yves Basuma, who scored an FA Cup goal 2 years ago against Bournemouth, trying to catch the goalkeeper unawares there. He has scored once in the Premier League this season. He got a goal against Everton in October. As here is Adam Webster, just inside his own penalty area, being put under pressure. Oh, and a miscue. Now that's poor from Ben White, but he recovers. And Brighton's number 3, who tried to hit it left-footed and it just scooped up in the air, back down again, and then he right-footed cleared the ball away as Dolan tries to send it down the left wing for Newport. It carries too far and it goes out for a goal kick. 0-0.
Yeah, and that was an example of what the pitch can do tonight. Yeah, the ball could be moving in weird and wonderful ways at times.
So Newport County 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Lee Mason, by the way, is the referee. The last time he was in charge of an FA Cup match, it was a high-scoring one. He was in charge of Manchester United's 6-1 win against Tranmere last season in the 4th round. Here at Rodney Parade, a throw-in for Newport County. Liam Shepherd preparing to take on the right-hand side. His father Gary, his brother Corey have also spent time with Newport, big family association of the Shepherds and Newport County. Ball goes back on the play in virtually the same spot, so another throw into Liam Shepherd. Newport, who beat fellow League 2 opposition in both of their previous rounds to get to this third round tie against Brighton. They overcame Leyton Orient and they beat Salford. And here is Zakiri running in to try and charge down the goalkeeper, but Tom King's clearance goes straight up into the air, and he's fortunate that David Long King was alert on the edge of the penalty area to further complete the clearance. Back come Brighton again. Andy Zakiri tries to hook it in front of Alexis McAllister. He's done well to keep it in play. He was going out for a goal kick, but he's kept it in play. And then away comes Liam Shepherd up into the midfield. And a bit of room here for Jamie Devitt. Now, if he can play a pass in front of Haynes, Newport could be on the attack here. Good ball. Haynes controls it on the left wing. Ben White comes out to try and get close to him. Haynes is off balance as he launches in the cross, and that's unfortunate. It goes out of play, and a goal kick to Brighton. But that was one of the first times in the match, apart from that huge chance for Amond inside 3 minutes when he had the shot, but that they got in behind the Brighton defence briefly, Jane.
Great run from Shepherd. Shepherd, he's playing as a right wing back, drives through central areas, right into the middle of the pitch, manages to switch it out, and really unfortunate for, wing back opposite side, managing to screen the ball right over the bar, unfortunately for Newport. But good opportunity there for him, managing to build, managing to get the ball from right to left and get into the final third. Hopefully they can do more of that.
That's the voice of Jane Ludlow, Welsh coach. I still believe, Jane, the top scorer for Arsenal women's team, is that right?
I am right now, but I'm not sure how long Miedema's going to take to catch me up, to be fair. Yeah,
Miedema has got some rate of goal scoring going, but not as many as Jane Ludlow yet in an Arsenal shirt. There's a good challenge from Ryan Haynes there, but Brighton hold on to possession. Jahan Bash tries to cross on the right hand side, and it's blocked down, and that goes out for a throw in, the block by Scott Bennett. Brighton take it quickly. Ben White, 10 yards inside the Newport half, turns and rolls it back to Adam Webster. So with Brighton getting used to the pitch, I think the biggest credit for Newport here is that if you just came down to look at this game, you didn't know who was playing, you wouldn't think there was 4 tiers, you wouldn't think this was Premier League against League 2 from the evidence of the game we've seen so far.
No, definitely not. Look, Newport are in this game right now. They're competing really well. They are having to do a lot of defending in their own half, but they're dealing with what's coming at them. A lot of the time it's fairly narrow from Brighton. They're playing at times like a 4-2-2-2, so really trying to overload those central areas with lots of movement between the lines there, but Newport are dealing with it.
I mentioned that Newport's last 2 games were called off due to waterlogged and frozen pitches. Before those games were suspended, they had been top of League 2 because they haven't played now for 2 games. Carlisle have been able to overtake them, but Newport in second place, 1 point behind Carlisle. They do have a game in hand, so it's been a very good season so far for Mike Flynn. As Ryan Haynes here tries to clear the ball away, blocked by Ben White, and it goes out for a Newport throw, and he's going to leave this one for Mickey Dimitru, former Kidderminster player, member of a Kidderminster side which knocked Peterborough out of the FA Cup 6 years or so ago in the third round. And he actually had a penalty Mickey Dimitru saved in the last round against Salford, but Newport progressed at any rate. Dimitru takes the throw in, good distance on it, down the left wing, trying to pick out Padraig Amadou. Apart from that first chance, the Corkman hasn't had many other touches of the ball, as it's taken away from him immediately. McAllister tries to spring Brighton on the attack, heavy touch by Andy Zakiri, and then in lunges Liam Shepherd to put the ball out of play. Throw into Brighton on the far side of the pitch from us.
Yeah, look, Brighton are struggling to break down this back 5 of Newport right now, because as soon as Newport lose possession, obviously they filter into that 5 really quickly.
And Mopey tries to play an intricate 1-2 on the edge of the penalty area. He goes down, collision with one of the defenders. I think it's Matthew Dolan. If anything, I think Mopey fouled Dolan there. Play on, says the referee Lee Mason, in any event, but that was a touch of class there as Mopey tried to play a 1-2 on the edge of the penalty area. He is Brighton's top scorer this season, Neil Mopey, 2 goals in his last 3 games. And now we're just going to have a little bit of a delay because there is an injury here. Basuma is down, he might need some treatment. 0-0 it remains here on 5 Live this evening at Rodney Parade. So while we've got just a little bit of a delay in play, Just going to tell you about the brand new EFL podcast. It's called 72 Plus. It launched this weekend and it is available from BBC Sounds. And if you haven't yet downloaded the BBC Sounds app, I would thoroughly recommend, apart from all the great sports content on there, brilliant things, particularly in these lockdown times when you may have some time to kill. There is much to peruse, be it music, be it news, be it documentaries, all available on BBC Sounds, which is well worth downloading, regardless of what device you own. Here, Liam Shepherd clears the ball away for Newport. It goes straight out of play, and that is going to be a throw-in to Brighton, but still scoreless here in this evening kickoff in the FA Cup. The action does continue tomorrow. We've got Stockport against West Ham. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Full commentary here on 5 Live is what has been a very busy third round weekend in the FA Cup, and I know the Shrewsbury-Southampton game was called off. I mean, it's good to have reached this stage of the weekend, and the greater majority of the games have gone ahead. And you know, the FA Cup has been going for 148 years now. The only years in that time that it hasn't been competed were during the First World War and the Second World War. It's seen an awful lot. There are new challenges this year, but the FA Cup's still going strong as Newport trying to come forward here down the right-hand side. Porter-Gammon with a lovely turn. Now that was smart, and he's put Lewis Dunk under pressure here. Dunk is deceived by Robbie Wilmot into the penalty area. Transfer Newport, it's pulled back, and Adam Webster is able to clear away. That is as threatening as Newport County have been in the game. Lovely pass to set that in motion from Porter-Gammon, and then Robbie Wilmot, Jane, did very well also, and Brighton were relieved to get that away. Yeah,
really disappointing from a Newport perspective though, because Sheehan was driving into the box, but look, good positioning from Webster to be able to pick out that pass that was pulled back, but good opportunity there for Newport.
Newport, who have only lost 4 of their 20 league games so far this season. They've reached at least the FA Cup 4th round in 2 of the last 3 seasons. They enjoy taking on the big boys. They're holding their own here so far. Jan Bash crossing position for Brighton on the right hand side. Brighton playing from left to right as we look down. Basuma, who's recovered from that knock, encourages Lewis Dunk to come forward. Dunk, the central defender, has been in the goals lately. That's a really good ball. Jan Bash into the penalty area, well defended by Ryan Haynes, who got right up close to Jan Bash. To be careful not to foul him. That was strong, sturdy, effective defending, and the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Red played very well there, Haynes. Obviously, there's times in this game where he's going to be a wide attacker as high up the pitch as he can, but then in these instances, obviously, he's going to have to do lots of defending in the wider area and filter into this back 5 for Newport, and he's doing both very well right now.
Jan Bash is a funny one, isn't he? He was a big money move for Brighton. He had been top scorer in the Netherlands, and it was seen as quite a coup when Brighton signed him. He's not been able to get anything like that sort of tally. He's really struggled to score goals for Brighton as the Iranian. I know Chris Sutton, who's presenting 606 later on, was a huge fan of Jan Bash. He sort of adopted Iran at the last World Cup, and he thought Jan Bash was a world star in the making, and it obviously hasn't quite worked out that way for him, but he made a good run there. He was trying to hit the ball on the volley, and Ryan Haynes got across and blocked the ball away. I mean, he didn't even touch the ball, Haynes. It was just his presence. He got into a position that made it impossible for Jan Bash to get a shot on target, and that's very good positional sense from the Newport County number 3. 0-0 here on 5 Live. Brighton have possession, edge of their own penalty area with Adam Webster. Still Brighton's record signing, £20 million they paid for him at the start of last season. He's taken over the number 4 shirt this campaign, taking it from Shane Duffy, and Duffy went on loan to Celtic. Here is Pascal Gross. He gives it out to Solly March on the left-hand side, and Brighton playing these low passes, bobbling along the rough playing surface at Rodney Parade. Dunk, no pressure on him, just drags the ball back under his studs a few times. Can't see any obvious pass forward, gives it short to Solly March, and he's forced back to the goalkeeper, and that's good for Newport. It shows that they are denying opportunities to their Premier League opponents. Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, look, what we're seeing from Newport is when ball's in the middle third or slightly higher, they're going into kind of a 5 in a box midfield in front, and then Amond up top, and it's working particularly well at times, just to frustrate this Brighton team. Brighton obviously matching it up and fairly narrow in their attacking game, but not managing to break down that box in midfield right now.
Throw into Brighton, 0-0 here on 5 Live in this 7:45 kickoff. Ben White prepares to take it 15 yards, 20 yards from the corner flag that Brighton attacked down the right-hand side, and he takes his time over it. Eventually throws to Andy Zakiri, back again to White. A bit of room for Basuma here, 5 yards outside the penalty area, but No easy pass into the box, so he'll turn and roll it back to Adam Webster, and Brighton retreat to the halfway line once again. Newport have already faced Premier League opposition this season. They lost on penalties in the League Cup 4th round here to Newcastle. That was after a game that finished 1-1, and that was back in September. And tonight taking on Brighton Hove Albion side, who are just above the relegation zone of the Premier League, 17th position, 3 points ahead of Fulham below them. Fulham third bottom. Here's Neil Mopay just outside the dealer penalty area. Jahan Bash to the right hand side to Ben White just outside the penalty area, touched to steady himself. Disappointing cross though, comes in low, and it deflects off Ryan Haynes and out for a corner. Brighton's first corner of the game, and it's taken them almost half an hour to achieve that, Jane.
They worked that well though, didn't they? From left to right, going into Mopay on the edge of the box, and then playing out into a wide area for the attacking fullback White to get really high, but obviously first delivery knocked out for this corner.
Which there were two players, Solly March and Pascal Gross, standing over. Two players standing over the corner, one left-footed, one right-footed. And it will be the right-footed Gross who plays it out swinging. Powerful header from Lewis Dunk, and saved by Tom King. Lewis Dunk has got 2 goals in his last 3 games, and it was a header on target, and it's put out for another corner.
I thought that was in, to be fair. Good save in the end by the goalkeeper, but great contact there from the centre-back. They've
got to make sure Dunk doesn't get that sort of space again. That was a free header. Here comes the latest delivery. Gross again into the busy penalty area. Headed away this time by Matthew Dolan. Controlled by McAllister on the edge of the D. He goes down hurt. Play almost as the referee as Jamie Devitt tries to spark a counter-attack for Newport. There was no safe pass forward, so he keeps his head, gives it back into the defence. David Long-King will clear out to the right-hand side. Back to Devitt once again, and they work their way into the Brighton half, but the pass is too far in front of Padraig Amond, and that's through to Jason Steele, the Brighton goalkeeper, away to our left-hand side. Newport County of League 2 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0 of the Premier League, as Brighton come forward on the left-hand side. Solly March rolls it in front of Jahan Bash, who's taken up a position on the left wing now, turns back onto his right boot, doesn't send in a cross though. Back to Solly March. Now the delivery into the penalty area. Dimitra with a downward header, but it's sufficient enough to get the ball out of the penalty area, and then Shepherd has the confidence to flick it over the top of Solly March, try and run around the other side. March doesn't allow him to do that, and Brighton regain possession.
Yeah, and there's some decent deliveries coming in now from Brighton, isn't there? But look, the 3 centre-backs from Newport are dealing with them fairly easily right now, aren't they? We've seen Dolan doing it from set play situations, and we're seeing Dimitri doing the same thing. You know, they're defending their box particularly well right now.
Newport trying to cause an upset here against Brighton on third round weekend, as Ryan Haynes should clear away here from the left full-back position. He was under pressure from Jahan Bash, and that pressure resulted in a poor clearance. And White has it for Brighton midway inside the Newport half on the right hand side. Pascal Gross encourages White to get to the byline, hangs in a really good cross. Zakiri was close to it, then it sits up. McAllister shot straight at the goalkeeper and falling to his knees. Tom King saves, and the goalkeeper just in recent minutes is getting busier and busier as Brighton are beginning to find their range.
That was a lovely delivery from the right hand side, wasn't it, from White? Oh, it was an enticing one. You just had to attack. But again, Newport win first contact, but not clearing the ball effectively on first contact there.
So the chance first for Dunk, and another opportunity there for McAllister, Alexis McAllister, who has scored 3 times in all competitions this season for Brighton. As ball goes out of play on the far side from us, and it's going to be a throw-in for Newport County of League 2. Carlos Vinicius got a 13-minute hat-trick as Tottenham beat Marine earlier on today. Alfie Devine made his debut, 16 years of age, and scored his first senior goal for Jose Mourinho's side. Newport with possession on the halfway line, and a little bit of space here for Dimitri to get his head up. He's launched it high into the Brighton penalty area, but too high, too far in front of Padraig Amond, and it carries through to Jason Steele away to our left-hand side. Newport County 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Newport looking for their first win in 5 games. It's been their longest run without a victory all season. They've had a few draws. They have scored in every league game they've played this season, Newport. They're the only team in the whole of the Football League to have scored in each and every one of their league matches this season. But 0-0 for the moment as Basuma tries to play it forward towards the edge of the Newport penalty area, and it's cleared away by Matthew Dolan back there. Dolan, who started his career in the Middlesbrough Youth Academy. Pascal Gross in the centre circle encourages Dunk to come over the halfway line. He's already 15 yards inside Newport territory. Gives it out to the left wing. Jan Bash has gone out there again. Doubling up with Sully March. Ball towards the edge of the box is controlled by McAllister. He tries to play a 1-2 at Zakiri. And the ball goes out for a corner. Corner to Brighton on the left-hand side. Still 0-0.
Yeah, and Zakiri's doing a heck of a lot of work tonight, running into the channels, trying to drag one of those centre-backs out with him. And at times it's working, at times it's not. But he's working extremely hard for this Brighton team. Try and break down this back five, Newport.
Zakiri, who came on against Wolves last time out, just his second appearance in the Premier League. He joined Brighton at the start of October, and he is waiting inside the 6-yard box as Brighton prepare to take this corner kick. We're going to have a delay here because Robbie Wilmot is going to need some treatment. Wilmot, one of the older players in the Newport starting 11. He was in the team 7 years ago that beat Brighton in the League Cup. I think he's the only surviving member still involved tonight who played in that game 7 years ago. He's just getting some treatment on the edge of the penalty area here as Brighton prepared to take the corner. And again, you don't see many teams do this, Jay. You often see there's a free kick. There'll be a decoy guy standing there, but two players standing, and therefore the defence can't decide, is this going to be an in-swinger or is it going to be an out-swinger? It's an interesting tactic that, as I say, you don't see very often.
Yeah, it is, and you can also play short. Obviously there'll be a 2v1 out there as well if Newport continue to just put a one man out there, which can be another option for Brighton. So interesting setup for them. But look, last time it was a direct delivery in, wasn't it, to the head of Webster, I believe, and I'm sure they might be looking for that again.
So Wilmot has had to depart the field to continue receiving treatment. Newport are briefly down to 10 men here with a corner to defend, and Sully March sends an outswinger, and Dunk is nearly there, and a shot on target, and King with a brilliant save. Zakiri's volley was heading in, and Tom King's best save of the evening, a stiff arm, not just to save the ball but to push it up and over the crossbar as well.
Well, if you're a Brighton fan, you'll be disappointed that hasn't gone in, and the goalkeeper for Newport has done really well because his body weight's going the opposite direction. He sticks his hand out and he manages to get something on it, and it's obviously flicked it up over the bar.
Well, these chances are beginning to rock up now for Premier League Brighton. Can Newport hold on? The latest corner delivered in. Webster close to it again, but it pops into the safety of the arms of Jason Steele, the goalkeeper. Well, he's earning his wages in this first half. Tom King would have known this was going to be a busy evening for him, but he was moving to his left, the shot came back to his right, and it was just any sort of floppiness in his arm as well that would have blown through it. Stiff arm to put it over the top.
It was a strong hand, did enough to get it up over the bar and out of the danger area.
It's almost Jane Ludlow watching this game with us here on 5 Live for the BBC at Rodney Parade this evening. Jan Bash up to the halfway line. Bit of room for McAllister to turn here, and he rolls a ball too far in front of Zakiri and of Mopé, who were both making good runs ahead of him, and that's frustrating for Brighton that they don't get to capitalise on one of those rare moments when Newport's midfield had all pushed up, and for once Brighton had some space to exploit inside their opponent's half. Lee Mason blows his whistle. Free kick to Newport, far side of the pitch for Ross.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times, but only a couple of times in the game so far where it's happened and they've had that quick transition. They look really dangerous, don't they, when they're driving through those central areas of the pitch, Brighton, but not come into anything for them right now.
If you're joining our coverage here, Newport have had 2 decent chances. Brighton have had at least 3 opportunities, but 0-0 it remains. We've got just over 10 minutes to go until half-time, just less than 10 minutes to go of normal time until the break. Here behind closed doors at Rodney Parade in South Wales as Matthew Dolan sends a free kick for Newport towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Scott Bennett unable to control on the edge of the box. Cleared away by Brighton, but headed firmly back by young David Long King. Good dominant central defender's header. Won back by Pascal Gross for Brighton, and Mopé shifts it on to Basuma immediately to the left wing to Jahan Bash, and Brighton have got players forward here. Newport trying to get defenders back. Jahan Bash on the left wing, held up. Basuma comes to help him out. Lovely footwork, what a flick that was. Basuma to Sully March, but his attempted cross is blocked away. Newport are working very hard, but they need to, because Brighton are beginning to get used to this pitch and beginning to pull off a few fancy touches now.
Yeah, that was a bit of class, wasn't it, from Basuma out on the left wing there. Really classy, playing around the back for fullback who's running beyond, but nothing coming from that attack again for Brighton, but they do look very dangerous when they break quickly. But look, right now Newport are managing to get numbers back effectively, and they're dealing with anything that's thrown against them.
It was a lovely touch from Basuma. It all happened so quickly. He sort of dragged the ball back between his own legs, then he flicked it into the path of Solly March, and on that surface there was a lot that could have gone wrong. We've seen people mess up that kind of thing. Amon's back on the pitch, having received a little bit of treatment. There's activity on the far side. They might be forced into a change here with Wilmot not having recovered from that knock. You remember that he was down injured before a recent corner, and I think they're going to have to make a change here. At the moment, Newport are playing with 10 men as they scramble around the technical area on the far side to try and get a substitute on. Brighton come forward for now. Pascal Gross, right hand side of the midfield, crosses into the penalty area, controlled by Zakiri, but he can't lay it back to a teammate. Good work in there by Patrick Amond, who's dropped back into midfield since Wilmot has had to leave the pitch. And Newport trying to play their way out of trouble. There's a foul by Jan Bash, and that is a free kick to Newport, and that should allow them to make this substitution now, Jim.
Yeah, they need that breathing space right now. It's good decisions by Devitt, to be fair, pinching in midfield and recognising, there's no point for them. Everybody's back defending, and does really well to retain the ball in what's a really bumpy midfield area right now.
Joss Labadie is going to be the player who comes on for the West Brom and Tranmere player. He has played against Premier League clubs in the FA Cup before. He faced Leicester and Spurs with Newport in the past. He played against Everton during his time at Dagenham and Redbridge. So Joss Labadie is on in place of Robbie Wilmot, who I mentioned is one of the more experienced members of the Newport team. Not an ideal player to lose in the first half for Mike Flynn, but Joss Labadie's experienced too. He's played in 16 league games this season. He is now into the Newport County midfield. 0-0 here on 5 Live as Zakiri flicks on a header. David Long King, have been impressed with him, a guy who's been on the fringes at Newport this season, but given a start tonight. He's a tall, commanding centre half, and he's dealt well with everything that's been thrown at him so far, Jane Lover.
Yeah, he has, and this could be an opportunity.
Steele's come out of his penalty area and missed it, and Padraig Amond shoots towards goal, and it's cleared away by Lewis Dunk. Amond so close to another FA Cup goal against Premier League opposition. He's had so many of them in the past. Steele found himself outside the penalty area trying to head the ball and beaten to it by Padraig Amond, who then flicked it over the goalkeeper. It was heading towards the goal and then saved by Lewis Dunk, the defender who got back. And otherwise Newport would have taken the lead against Premier League Brighton.
That was one heck of an opportunity, wasn't it? Half an inch higher, it's in the back of the net, but then we see Brighton break really quickly, and now they've got a corner at the other side of the pitch.
What an opportunity for Padraig Amond. He had a chance right at the start of this game, and he's had another opportunity here before half time. And a big warning sign for Brighton. They can't afford to give Padraig Amond many more of those chances. The record he's had, 12 FA Cup goals in his career, loves scoring against the big boys. Now though, Newport turn their attention to defence. 0-0 at Rodney Parade. Pascal Gross is standing out over a free kick, which is right on the byline, just outside the penalty area. It's like a short corner in hockey, and he's got most of his teammates at the back post from where he is. He holds both hands in the air as a signal, plays it towards the back stick. Dunk jumped for it, comes down for Solly March, and March plays a neat 1-2 on the edge of the penalty area, shoots right-footed, weaker foot, always rising. Solly March's shot is miles wide. 4 minutes to go to the break. 0-0 it remains, but it's not been a bad first half. We've had plenty of chances to discuss, Jane.
Oh, well, there have been 2 key opportunities for Newport, haven't there, where they've, Brighton have got a little bit caught out, whether it's the pitch, whether it's decision making, as a backline and a goalkeeper, and unfortunately for them, they haven't taken those opportunities, and they've defended really, really well when they've had to.
Newport who have kept 9 clean sheets in all competitions this season, but most of them early enough in the campaign. Only 1 clean sheet in their last 7 games. They're holding Brighton at bay here. They've taken a few big interventions. Ryan Hayes did very well to deny Jan Bash at one stage, and Tom King with a superb save as well. 0-0 it remains for now, and the chance of a cup upset remains alive. Tonight, FA Cup third round highlights on BBC One at 10:30. That's followed by the Women's Football Show. Here is Solly March coming over the halfway line, 10 yards inside the Newport half. Turns under pressure from Amond and gives it back to Lewis Dunk behind him. And now Gross will take the ball deeper into Newport territory, but runs up in front of Scott Bennett and is forced to retreat back again. Dunk has it on the halfway line. No pressure on him this time. Newport sitting very deep here. Some of their defenders are only a couple of paces outside their penalty area. David Long-King just steps up as I say that, and now they're good 10 yards outside the box. Dunk being put under pressure, and that pressure forces him to give the ball away to Scott Bennett. Bennett's taken down by Gross, and wouldn't be surprised if Lee Mason even reached for a card here. That was quite cynical. I think Gross knew exactly what he was doing there. He'll get away with just a word from the referee, but that was a professional foul because he knew that Scott Bennett had the chance of a counter-attack there.
Yeah, good organised press from Newport there, allowing Brighton to have the ball, higher up the pitch. But as soon as they come in near central areas, middle of the pitch, they're pressing really effectively as a group. First man goes, second one's joining in, and really good pinch then. What can they create now just before half time?
Yeah, the draw, by the way, for the 4th and the 5th round takes place tomorrow ahead of the Stockport West Ham match. You can hear that on 5 Live. Free kick to Newport, which will be taken by Matthew Dolan. Left-footed delivery, that's really good, towards the far post, and Amond was close to it, David Long-King as well, but it flashes through both of those and kept in play on the far side by Lavity, I think, who launches it across, too close to the goalkeeper, well held onto by Jason Steele. That was a really good delivery from Matthew Dolan. He's unfortunate there that one of his teammates didn't get on the end of it.
Yeah, really enticing around the far post area, and I actually thought they were going to make contact, but not quite on this opportunity.
This is the FA Cup on 5 Live from the BBC, the 3rd round. Newport growing in confidence now as they come on the attack again. Basuma wins it back for Brighton on the edge of the penalty area. Dunk back to the goalkeeper Steele, and Jason Steele under pressure gives it good old-fashioned welly. Boots it up to the halfway line where David Long-King's header goes straight up into the air. Happens a 2nd time. 3rd time he still can't get a clean purchase on. Now he nods it a 4th time and gets it back into the Brighton half, and then he runs back into his position alongside Dolan and Dimitru, and they're holding that line. The 3 central defenders for Newport County here against Premier League opposition tonight at Newport. Newport's Rodney Parade. If you're joining the coverage late, the pitch ain't great, loads of sand on it. Rugby played here regularly, including a game in the Pro 14 just last night, so there's plenty of bubbles. Brighton have dealt pretty well in that regard. They've been able to create chances for themselves, but they're obviously having to concentrate that little bit extra on every touch. There's a good header is won in the edge of his own penalty area by Dolan, controlled with confidence by Devitt, who clears up to the halfway line. Webster gets a touch on it for Brighton, but can't get a clean connection, and then Jan Bash with a foul on Josh Sheehan, and that is going to be a free kick to Newport inside their own half. And just wondering if there's been a little gear change just in the last few minutes, Jane, where Brighton have been forced to sit back a little bit, and Newport, rather than just absorbing, are beginning to apply a little bit of pressure more themselves.
Yeah, totally agree. I think the last 5-6 minutes now we've seen a slightly different game from Newport. They're getting higher up the park, aren't they? They're pinching a little bit higher. They're managing to retain the ball a little bit better too.
1 minute to be added on for stoppages ahead of the break. Up until these recent minutes, Newport have been relying on counter-attacking, but now they're trying to establish themselves inside the Brighton half as we step into stoppages ahead of the break, and Newport win another free kick. Now if Matthew Dolan can deliver this as well as he did last time, something interesting might be about to happen. Free kick to Newport, wide out on the left hand side. This is not a shooting position, it's a crossing position. It's only a few yards outside the penalty area, but right out by the touchline, near side of the pitch from us. Newport playing from right to left as we look down. The end behind this ground would normally be an open terrace where spectators allowed in. And Dolan takes his time over placing this, knows that this will be the last chance of the first half. Here it comes, left-footed delivery, plenty of power on it. Header was goal-bound, blocked away off a defender who I don't think knew much about it. What an opportunity for Newport, and Brighton relieved, but they haven't fully cleared. They should do now. White with a calming ball to Yahan Bash. He just flicks it away carelessly though and gives it to Jamie Devitt. Devitt can't control, and maybe a chance to counter-attack for Brighton. No, they won't do, because there goes the whistle for half-time. Well, Newport coming close again. There was a header there that was going on target, and it walloped off a defender who was fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. I don't think he knew anything about it. Newport have had their chances, Jane Ludlow, but it's 0-0 the break.
Yeah, and Dolan has a fantastic, he has a wand, doesn't he, of a left foot right now, and you're right, that was definitely going on target, but not quite going in the back of the net right now for Newport.
Right, so a second 45 minutes in which it will all be to play for here. League 2 Newport are holding their own and then some against Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton have had a few chances, put you net at half-time. Newport County 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Well, I think it's got every chance, hasn't it? Brighton have there's no doubt they've created chances. I guess it's been a problem for Graham Potter all season. They need someone to finish it off. If Neil Mopé doesn't hit the back of the net, he's been their top scorer. There hasn't really been anyone else to step up. Jan Batch has had a chance tonight. McAllister's had a chance. Webster had an opportunity. They need someone to just take the bull by the horns here and put the ball in the back of the net. And, you know, as would happen generally in this sort of scenario, if the Premier League team score 1, they might go on to get 3, 4, 5. But the longer this stays 0-0, the more doubt will creep into Brighton's mind, the more belief will grow for Newport.
Yeah, and we saw it in the first half, didn't we? I think 35 minutes into the game, it was pretty much all Brighton. A couple of opportunities on the break for Newport, but then Newport started to get the ball down, play a little bit more, possess the ball in the opposition half, and we did see a change in the game. So interesting to see how it starts now for the second half.
Right, Newport are going to play from left to right as we look down in this second half. They're wearing their orange and black, and Brighton and Hove Albion in their blue and white. And inside the centre circle, Matthew Dolan, one of the central defenders, comes up and takes the touch. I wonder if that's a superstitious thing. You don't normally see a central defender be the man to start the second half, to take the touch inside the centre circle. Knowing footballers as we do, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of superstition about that. I know a lot of goalkeepers always love to get a really early touch of the ball as Lewis Dunk here stretches on the edge of his own penalty area and clears away. I'll give you a full rundown of the teams in just a moment when we get a break in play. There was one enforced change in the first half, just Labadie coming on in place of Wilmot for Newport. Labadie's in possession at the moment, right hand side of the midfield, wearing orange boots to match his kit, and he tries to play a 1-2 here with Patrick Amond. He's now putting a lot of pressure on Solly March by the byline that Brighton are defending, and too much pressure from Labadie. He was pulling his shirt, and the assistant on the near touchline, who is Mark Scholes, says that is a foul, and it will be a free kick to Brighton. So quickly the teams: Tom King is the goalkeeper for Newport, Dolan, Long King and Dimitri the three central defenders. In midfield, Josh Sheehan and Scott Pennant. Shepherd's one wing back, Ryan Haynes is the other. Labadie's been on the right hand side of the midfield. Jamie Devitt trying to push forward when he can, and Padraig Amond, who's had two really big opportunities. One of them, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he put wide. The other one he got past the goalkeeper but was cleared on the goal line by Lewis Dunk. Basuma goes down holding his neck, claiming that he was fouled there. The referee Lee Mason was behind that. He could only see the back of Basuma's head, so he didn't see the collision. Here comes Devitt for Newport, attacking the edge of the penalty area. Unselfishly plays it to Hines on the left hand side. Hines with a little step over into the box, doesn't fancy the right footed shot. He's taken too long as Gross comes across. He's still battling away here, Ryan Haynes, but he loses possession, and Brighton are able to clear it away. But an up tempo start here to the second half at Rodney Parade.
That was a fantastic opportunity for them. When Haynes took too long on that left hand side, should have kept in, driven in early, or just released that ball a little bit earlier than he did. And in the end, four blue shirts swarming around him and winning it back.
That's the voice of the Welsh international coach Jane Ludlow, watching this game with us on 5 Live this evening. The Brighton team: Jason Steele, the goalkeeper, who's been playing regularly in the cup competitions but not the Premier League this season. Ben White, Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster, the three central defenders. Solly March on one side, Jahan Bash has been on the other. They have varied it around a little bit. Gross and Basuma in the middle, and then Mopé, McAllister and Zakiri are a front three. Both teams have had chances. 0-0 it remains. Remember, one way or the other, we do get a winner tonight. We do get a name in the fourth round. There's no replays in the FA Cup this season. Extra time if required, as they had at Cheltenham against Mansfield earlier on today. And if it's still level at the end of 120 minutes, there would be a penalty shootout tonight, as there was last season when these clubs met in the Football League Trophy. It was Brighton's under-21 side who played in that. Here's a shot from distance, speculative from Jamie Devitt. He was 10 yards outside the penalty area, and he puts it well wide. But it's further evidence of this front foot that Newport are trying to establish themselves on in the game.
Yeah, Brighton have been a bit loose, haven't they, in possession at the start of this second half. Basuma on their last occasion, giving it away, own half, central areas, danger areas. And they're not as composed as they started the first half, are they, Brighton?
Brighton, who've had a lot of draws this season. They've had more draws in the Premier League than any other team. 8 times they have finished the game with a share of the spoils in the top flight. Liverpool are next most. They've had 6 draws. No other team has had more than 5 in the Premier League this season. 0-0 and all square here for the moment. 54 league places between these two, with second in League 2 playing 17th in the Premier League. Throw in for Brighton, left full back position for them. Ball thrown long up over the halfway line, headed back into the Newport half. once and then a second time, both by Ben White, and the ball goes out of play this time off a Newport player, and that'll be a throw-in to Brighton, 12-13 yards inside their opponent's half. And Brighton, you feel there should be a bit more emphasis on them as the Premier League team to be taking this game the mantle, but they're struggling to hold possession here at the moment, just inside their opponent's half. They retreat back to Adam Webster, and McAllister in the midfield, and Gross. And here is Solly March, but Brighton still on the halfway line, still battling to get into Newport territory. There's a slip there by Josh Sheehan. Jahan Bash isn't able to capitalise on it. Chance to counter-attack maybe. Scott Bennett hurdles over one challenge, runs into trouble though as he turns, and Pascal Gross expertly gets it off him and sets Brighton in motion. Good ball, played by McAllister to the right-hand side. Jahan Bash tries to break into the penalty area, shows too much of it to Josh Sheehan. That's a good ball, a clearance up towards Devon, up to the halfway line. Back to Sheehan again. Chance to come over the halfway line. He's got a player available outside him, Shepherd, if he can make the pass, but he's taken down by Ben White, and he's fouled, and it's a free kick to Newport inside the centre circle. Still 0-0.
It's a pity he couldn't get the ball out into this right-hand side then, because Shepherd had acres of space to use, didn't he? But look, free kick for Newport right in the middle of the pitch.
Newport, who are at home here again next Saturday. They host Salford here in League 2. They've already beaten Salford on this cup run to get to the third round. Then it's back-to-back away games for Newport. They go to Cheltenham and then to Oldham. But tonight it's a glamour game for them. It's Premier League opposition. Newport County 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Early stages of the second half here on 5 Live for the BBC, also live on BBC Sounds tonight. And indeed you can listen to us via the live text commentary on the BBC Sport website as well tonight, as free kick is taken by Dolan, hangs in the air into the Brighton penalty area. David Longking tried to attack it, but it's cleared away by Lewis Dunk, the boyhood Brighton fan, turned 29 in November. Very much a stalwart of their central defence in recent seasons. A few changes made this evening by Graham Potter, but it is still a strong lineup from a Premier League team who are in need of a morale-boosting victory, having had just one win since September. Dunk has it back again, just outside his own penalty area. Rolls it short to Solly March on his left-hand side. Scored against Manchester United in September. Scored against Villa in November, Solly March. But a poor pass there as he sends it down the flank, and it's cut out and the ball goes out of play for a throw-in. There's a bit of a delay here. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. Liam Shepherd, I think for some reason he thought he couldn't use that ball and need to wait for another. I'm not quite sure what the confusion was, but everything okay now. He's got the ball in his hand and he's preparing to take the throw-in. Right wing-back position for Newport County of League 2. Throws it up towards the halfway line, towards Patrick Amond, who's, overall, Jane, he's had 2 glorious chances to score. He's been very quiet otherwise, the Newport number 9.
No, look, defensively he's doing a job there, isn't he? He's trying to deal with the 2 centre-backs a lot of the time, and he's been effective at times, and at others, they're playing around him too easily. But, I do think as the game's gone on, Newport's pressing game is better. Look, we're seeing now, we've pinched the ball back again, central areas of the pitch, and they're back in possession.
Yep, Jamie Devitt that time, he's having a good game. The Irish midfielder, as Newport play it down the right channel. Lewis Dunk will sweep across. That's very well done by Dunk, expertly just controlling it, slotting it back to the goalkeeper Jason Steele in behind him. Brighton try to build their way up to the halfway line once again. Here is Dunk, bit of room to run into this time. Plays a 1-2 with Solly March. Lewis Dunk now 10 yards inside the Newport half. Another 1-2 with Pascal Gross. You can see that Brighton are trying to spark something here. They know that, in terms of raw quality, they should be much better than their opponents, but it's just not happening for them so far. Jahan Bash might get a chance here. Edge of the penalty area, can't get the angle for the shot. Pushes it in front of Ben White, who's up from defence on the right-hand side. He gives it a good delivery, and Zakiri's header over the top. That's the best move for Brighton in the second half. Zakiri just couldn't keep his header from 7 or 8 yards out. He couldn't keep it down.
A good opportunity there for Brighton, and I do think are they better off if they're trying to switch the ball a little bit more? They've got a really congested box. When Newport get their numbers back, they're really tight in and around that edge of the box. Really hard to break down right now, and there's a bit of me thinking when Brighton do get the ball, up in the attacking third of the pitch, are they better off trying to manipulate the ball right to left, try and stretch this back 5 out of Newport and try and create some more spaces in and around the edge of the box. Still early stages in the second half. Could this FA Cup third round tie be going to extra time, maybe even penalties tonight? Won't you, Jane? We've nowhere else to go, do we? It's lockdown. We might as well sit here for the 120 minutes plus of football tonight if they offer it up to us here at Rodney Parade. And penalties are always an interesting moment, aren't they? In particular for goalkeepers.
If your team isn't involved, there's nothing better than a penalty shootout. If it's your team, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, totally agree.
I presume you always put yourself forward to take a penalty.
Yeah, and then Vic Akers would tap me on the shoulder and go, no, lad, sit back down.
Really? What did let you take?
I did take a few. I remember one in a League Cup final and I hit the crossbar. So after that I wasn't allowed. Definitely not. They'd all be pulling me back after that one.
By the way, in the NFL, which has just finished up on our sister station 5 Live Sports Extra, Baltimore beaten Tennessee by 20 points to 13. We'll have the Super Bowl for you on 5 Live early next month. There's a few other playoff games. You'll hear about it in due course on the network in the coming weeks, but more and more NFL being featured across 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra. Tonight we're focusing on the FA Cup at Rodney Parade, 0-0 between Newport County and Brighton Hove Albion here. Newport are on the attack down the left-hand side, and Ryan Haynes has taken a little towel that he's conveniently placed against the advertising board. He's to wipe the ball. He's going to try and launch a long throw in here. Here it comes, launched into the penalty area, headed away by Adam Webster. Good distance on the header away as well. Dolan will pick it up for Newport. And he's done well to hold on to possession on the left-hand side. Gross, though, with a touch to try and win it back for Brighton. And the Premier League side do regain full control of it now with Basuma. Has to run through a little bit of sand on this cut-up Rodney Parade pitch. And eventually Brighton don't build their way up to the halfway line. They give it away inside their own half. Devitt tries to play it forward again, and then Ben White puts it out into the stands. Newport will remain inside their opponent's territory. It's a throw into Newport County on the far side of the pitch from us. There's various substitutes warming up down there. It's all different zones, of course, these days, and there's parts of the stadium you can and can't go. It seems a very tight corner that they're doing the warm-up, and there's so many other wide areas around here. It's a big pitch. They play rugby here, but that is where the subs have been told that they must warm up on the far side from us.
Yeah, that statement of they play rugby here is something that I'm sure Mike Flynn would like never to be said again, because I'm sure, as a team they'd like this pitch to be in a better state than it is right now, but every winter the same thing happens.
And your international team play here quite a bit as well, Jen. Hang on, more about that in a moment. Jahan Bash picks up possession just outside the penalty area for Brighton. Plays it across the edge of the box. Important cut out by Scott Bennett, because there was a player, I think it was Gross, lurking in behind, but it didn't run through to him. Solly March has got into a tangle here. He lost the ball between his own legs. He's done well to regain his composure under pressure from Bennett, and it's become a real tussle now, a real fight as tackles are flying in. Solly March rides one of those, gives the ball into McAllister, turns 10 yards outside the D of the penalty area. The Brighton are attacking, gives it to Ben White on the right hand side. He tried to return it, not a great ball, too far in front of McAllister, and that harmlessly cruises out for a goal kick to Newport, who are still hanging on very effectively here, and they do not in any way look outclassed by their opponents at the moment.
No, but really surprised McAllister didn't take an opportunity to have a strike on goal there. He was practically on the edge of the D, unopposed, no pressure on him whatsoever, all the Newport boys dropping off, but decided to play into a wide area instead, and then unfortunately for Brighton, nothing coming of it.
Is that, for you as a coach, is that a problem Brighton have? That, we haven't seen tonight many of them take a shot from the edge of the box. Are they trying to score the perfect goal here?
Well, look, to be honest, most of the time, because of this 5-4-1 defensive organisation when they're deep from Newport, it's really tight there. So there's not been a huge amount of opportunities for them to do those things, because they're getting pressure on them immediately when they're receiving. But at that moment, it opened up for him, but he didn't take that opportunity.
So almost an hour played at Rodney Parade. McAllister back to Basuma. That's a poor ball. He's not had many of those today, but Yves Basuma gives away possession and a counter-attacking opportunity for Newport here. Liam Shepherd down the right-hand side. Very cab defending by Lewis Dunk. That seemed so dangerous as the ball came in low, and Dunk just jumped over it, allowed it through his legs. It was all intentional because his goalkeeper Jason Steele had called for it, and Brighton trying to counter-attack down the other end. Jahan Bash's ball was good, I felt, but McAllister wasn't able to control it, and it's cleared away. The game beginning to stretch now. Padraig Amon scampers after it, wins possession on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. There seemed to be a bit more room in midfield as Ryan Haynes comes forward on the left hand side into Josh Sheehan. Remember, Newport have had over 2 weeks since their last game. They should be very fresh. They should have plenty of energy in the legs. David Longking, who's had injury problems, he plays the ball forward, and another calm moment of defending from Lewis Dunk, edge of the box, under pressure from Ahmad. He just casually nods it back to the goalkeeper Jason Steele. Lewis Dunk in recent minutes showing his real quality.
Yeah, good relationship there from, centre back and goalkeeper. But if I'm honest, I'm not sure if the goalkeeper knew that first one was coming to him, because he stared at him for a good 5 seconds afterwards.
Oh, that could have been one of the great FA Cup clangers if that had gone wrong. I assumed the goalkeeper called for it, because it just was it was like he was playing with these kids in the back garden there. Lewis Dunk was like, no problem, I'll just jump over this, as with Amond lurking right behind him. But they got away with it. 0-0 it remains for now on 5 Live for the BBC in the FA Cup third round, as Ben White launches the ball forward for Brighton, looking for Neil Maupay, who's had a very quiet game. He's managed to shuffle it infield to McAllister here. There's a layback from Jahanbakhsh. McAllister takes it up again. Brighton get into the D. Down goes Jahanbakhsh. Referee says it's not a foul. He was very close to that, Lee Mason. It was Matthew Dolan who connected with Jahanbakhsh. Jahanbakhsh crumpled in a heap. The referee said no free kick, which was good news for Newport, because that would have been a dangerous position. Down the other end, Ryan Haynes sends an early cross into the centre. Lewis Dunk well positioned again, and he's playing so comfortably, Lewis Dunk, almost belying any sense of drama around him. It's all calm when Dunk gets possession, and Brighton are able to clear it away. But it's 0-0, Jane Ludlow. It's a good 0-0. This is an entertaining game. Yes,
definitely opened up, hasn't it, the second half. Opportunities for each team in a few minutes spell there.
Newport, who avoided relegation back to the National League on the last day of the season in 2017. They were 11 points from safety in March. That was when Mike Flynn originally came in to take charge. It was a great escape, it really was, to keep them up. And now they are hoping to be moving up to League One next season. Newport, who've become, just in a little way, specialists at knocking out the big boys in cup competitions in recent years. Can they claim another Premier League scalp? Can they beat Brighton and Hove Albion tonight? 0-0 for now. Zakiri holds the ball up 10 yards outside the Newport penalty area. Here is McAllister. The ball bounced in a lump of sand. I think he was thinking about a shot there. It was Pascal Gross, but as he waited for the ball to bounce in front of him, it was a particularly sandy patch of the Rodney Bray pitch, and it just didn't bounce up as he expected it to. Here's White. Good burst into the penalty area, right hand side. He tries a shot from a tight angle, but it sails over the crossbar. Still 0-0. Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, he's had a good game, hasn't he, White? Playing as a right back tonight. He's been really effective when he's getting in high areas of the pitch. Well, I say effective. Look, he's getting into danger areas, but nothing's coming from it right now, is it?
A double change being prepared here for the home side. Newport are going to take off Padraig Amon. Now, this is interesting. A striker who has caused the problems for so many Premier League clubs in recent seasons, has scored goals against the big boys. He is going to be taken off here. With an hour on the clock, double substitution. This is all happening the far side of the pitch from us, so it's difficult to see exactly who is coming on. I think that might be Ryan Taylor who's come on. We'll confirm that in just a moment. The other player going off is Jamie Devitt, and he's just walking off slowly here. Bit of no rush for him as the second substitute comes on here. Who's that? I can't make out the numbers from this distance. Up goes the board. There's a change as well for Brighton, and they're going to take off Alexis McAllister, the Argentinian midfielder, who's got 2 caps for his country. He goes off, and Leandro Trossard, the Belgian, will come on. Belgian international now. He made his debut for them earlier on this season. Trossard on for Brighton, for McAllister. Fresh legs, fresh ideas. The lad who scored his first goal of the season against Chelsea at the Amex a couple of months ago. So, changes for both sides, Jane. As well, I can't imagine either coach would particularly want extra time. They'd love to win this within 90 minutes.
No, I don't think any team wants extra games right now, do they? And I believe the other substitution for Newport was Lewis Collins, who's come into the game.
Perfect. Lewis Collins, a teenager, 19 years of age, has started Newport's last 2 games before tonight. Those have been his first starts since September, and he was another of the young players who played in the EFL Trophy win. Newport beat Brighton's under-21s last season. And so Lewis Collins is on, Ryan Taylor too, and it looks like those two are going to be leading the attack, with Amond having gone off, and they've got just in behind them Joss Labadie. So Labadie sitting behind Collins and Taylor. Can they get a goal against their Premier League opponents here, rattle a few cages and set up a dramatic finish to this game? We've got over a quarter of the match to go. There's a delay here. We're not missing any action. I think it's Yves Bissouma who's down injured on the far side. Just a reminder of what's coming up in the next few days here on 5 Live from the BBC. We've got the Monday Night Club tomorrow evening, Monday from 7 o'clock, then live commentary of Stockport against West Ham in the FA Cup. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And it just doesn't stop. Moving on to Tuesday, 2 live commentaries from the Premier League, albeit Bramall Lane for Sheffield United against Newcastle. Burnley against Manchester United is at 8 o'clock. Wednesday, 2 more live commentaries from the Premier League. Manchester City against Brighton, with a Brighton back in action in the 6 o'clock match. And then certainly hoping that the Villa against Spurs match goes ahead at 8:15. Villa, who had that large number of players in isolation, had to play the youth team on Friday night in the FA Cup. Will they be able to put out a team in the Premier League on Wednesday? But we've got a few days to see whether that happens or not. But if it does go ahead, we'll have it live 8:15 on Wednesday night here on 5 Live. Just a reminder, still no play going on here. Reminder for you that Match of the Day FA Cup third round highlight special, BBC One tonight at 10:30, and that's followed by the Women's Football Show. This is 5 Live from the BBC at Rodney Parade. And Basuma continuing to receive treatment off the pitch, but just been allowed back on now, waved on by Lee Mason. Brighton back to 11 players, game back underway. Shepherd wins ahead near the halfway line, controlled so gracefully by Lewis Dunk. His touches, I mean, it's almost like he's setting himself up for a fall here. I mean, he's been like Franz Beckenbauer. He's been so good to watch in this second half, Lewis Dunk. And, you know, everything he's doing, he's not taking the easy option. He's taking the best effective option. And on this pitch, is that going to work against him? Here he is again. Lewis Dunk allows the ball to bounce. This time, nothing fancy. Showing his experience there, just puts it out for a throw into Newport.
There is a bit of me, though, thinking you're giving him the kiss of death right now.
I'm setting him up. This is. I'm a professional at this, Jane. This is not my first rodeo. I'm setting him up for the curse of the commentator. But yeah, everything has been little dummies, shimmies, chest out. He's been very casual, Lewis Dunk, but he's been graceful to watch as he does it. I mean, very good player, Lewis Dunk. Right, throw in to Newport. Another chance to launch one into the penalty area. Dimitru has come forward. Here he comes. Arches his back. Good distance into the 6-yard box. Headed away by Solly March for Brighton. Pushed back into the mix by Josh Sheehan. It's still up there. Bit of pinball inside the Brighton penalty area. Eventually, Jahan Bash is able to clear away. And when Newport deliver it back towards the Brighton penalty area, Solly March picks it up for the visitors, and he's played his way out of a tight corner. Here is Davy Proper, who's come on as a substitute for Brighton, and he'll roll it back behind to the goalkeeper Jason Steele. So 0-0 here, awaiting a break in the deadlock in this FA Cup third round game. Will it be extra time tonight at Rodney Parade? Will one of these teams get a goal in the next 25 minutes or so, as Proper plays a very good pass in front of Solly March? He's got to sprint after it. Great pace by David Long King. He did so well to eat up the ground there and get there ahead of Solly March and put it out for a Brighton throw.
Yeah, Brighton worked that switch particularly well through the midfield area, but as you said, the youngster King done very, very well to deal with that attack.
So it is going to be a throw in for Brighton. Trossard crosses from the left hand side, puts a little bit too much on it, goes over his teammates who are waiting in the middle. Pascal Gross will pick it up for Brighton. Now on the far side of the pitch from us, the right hand side, down goes Jahan Bash, and he actually was fouled there, so it's a free kick to Brighton. Now this is not a shooting position, but it's a good platform, an opportunity to flow one into the box, and Brighton have been dangerous. Webster and Dunk make their way into the penalty area. So Brighton will take their time over this. Webster has got both hands raised in the air. He's saying, pick me out. Pascal Gross stands over the free kick. No wall really. It's a very tight angle. Ryan Haynes is sort of standing in the line. Here comes the delivery into the crowded penalty area. Wouldn't quite set up for Trossard, and Lewis Collins is able to clear away for Newport. They were all back defending that free kick, so there's no one up on the halfway line for the home side. Basuma, who's recovered from that injury, tries to inspire Brighton back on the attack. Pascal Gross, lovely ball in front of Ben White, crossing position on the right hand side, hangs in a decent delivery. Mopé swings and put it in, can't connect, sits up in front of Proper, and he puts it wide. What an opportunity. There were 3 chances in one there for Brighton. Mopé couldn't score. White is appealing that he had been fouled in there. Is it White or is it, sorry, it was Lewis Dunk, and then eventually it sat up in front of Davy Proper, and he couldn't hit the target. His shot skidded wide.
Oh, that looked like a penalty from first look anyway. Can't see a replay tonight, but that did look like a penalty.
Remember, no VAR here. There has been video assistant referee at some of the third round games, only at games that have taken place at Premier League grounds. here at Rodney Parade. They don't have the facilities, so there won't be any video assistant referee looking at that in the background. But I think if there had been, Jay, there would have been a huge shout for a penalty there, but Newport might have got away with that one.
Yeah, they might have got away with one there. They're still in this tie.
Yeah, just to confirm, Zakiri went off when Proper came on, so Zakiri's gone off, and Alexis McAllister's gone off as well. Proper and Trossard, the two, have come on for Brighton, and with Collins, Taylor and Labadie on the pitch for the home side Newport. Devitt, Wilmot and Amond are the three who have departed in the game so far. Don't forget, in the FA Cup this season, additional substitutes allowed. The coaches can make 5 changes. If it goes to extra time, they can make an additional one to that. 0-0 it remains for now. The clock ticks on, and we've got just 20 minutes remaining now in this FA Cup third round. One way or the other, either the name of Newport County or Brighton and Hove Albion will be in the draw for the fourth round, which takes place tomorrow at 7 o'clock on 5 Live. Throw in for Newport, taken towards Lewis Collins, back to goal, gives it to Ryan Haynes. Chance to cross from the left hand side, steadies himself, delivers it a little bit too low. Proper, round about the penalty spot, clears away right footed, and anywhere will do clearance, and he puts it out of play near the halfway line on the far side. Who's your money on here, Jane? Who's going to grab the headlines here, do you think?
To be honest, it could go either way, couldn't it? I think what I would say from a Newport perspective is when they are managing to get up into that top third, the deliveries into the box haven't been great, have they, tonight? Apart from set play opportunities when Dolan with that left foot wand has been able to deliver, the deliveries in wide area, from wide areas have been poor. They've had good opportunities to create some goal scoring chances, and they haven't quite managed to do it.
Well, here comes another change for the visitors. This is an interesting one, actually. Jahanbach is the player who makes way, and the guy who comes on is Percy Tau. Now, you mightn't have heard of him before. He is a South African forward. He was actually signed 2.5 years ago by Brighton. Chris Hughton signed him for £2.5 million. He's now coming on for his Brighton debut, and the reason that he's not been able to play for so long, it was to do with his work permit. He'd come from South Africa, he hadn't played enough national games and the various requirements that are needed, so he didn't get a work permit. They sent him out on loan. He was at Anderlecht, he was at Bruges, he played in the Champions League group stage last season for Bruges. He played against Manchester United in the Europa League, so he's obviously a decent player, but this is the first chance that Brighton and Hove Albion's fans have had to take a look at Percy Tau. He's a forward, he's come on in place of Jahanbach. Can he be the player to grab the winner in this FA Cup game that for the moment is stubbornly stuck at 0-0. Lewis Duncan's pulling out the fancy stuff again, a backwards header which is then touched by Adam Webster back to the goalkeeper Jason Steele, and then there's a foul on Bassoum on the edge of the penalty area, and Labadie tried to pick a pocket but he was over on Busters, and that is a foul. And Bassoum has had a bit of afters here with Labadie, and those two are squaring up to each other inside the penalty area, and the referee Lee Mason has stopped play, and they both want to be careful here. They don't want to do anything silly, and it's all a bit of handbags, but the referee has a word with Bassouma and with Labadie, and they were proper squaring up to each other there, and the referee, with play continuing, had to blow his whistle to bring it to a halt before that got out of hand. He's going to have a word with both of them.
Bassouma's an interesting one tonight because, first 45 minutes, I thought you controlled that midfield area really well in possession, making really good decisions. But since we've started this second half, he's been a bit loose in possession. At that point, look, he was fouled in that moment there, but he'd been a little bit loose, not at the same level that we saw first half. But that could well be down to the fact that the pressing game from Newport has been better second half.
So we've just had the two of them separated like a boxing referee there, and that is always the case. They've now gone to mark each other. They're just waiting for a 50-50 ball, and they can blow off a bit of steam from that particular exchange. Here is Proper in possession for Brighton, midway inside their own half. The clock ticks on here on 5 Live. Are we going to get a bit of drama? 17 minutes to play. Adam Webster, edge of his own penalty area, plays a good pass to Solly March. First time into the Newport half. Pascal Gross has done well in a tight corner to help it on to Leandro Trossard. And here he is with the lime green boots, passing to Proper on the right hand side, close to the edge of the Newport penalty area. Good interception though by Josh Sheehan to win the ball back for the 4th tier club. They're doing well, Newport, when you almost have to pinch yourself and remind yourself every now and again that this is a huge goal. 54 league places between these two teams, and really Brighton should be dominating far more. Here is March on the left hand side, bearing down on the Newport penalty area, has a little burst towards the byline, sends in what was meant to be a cross, and it became a shot, and King was almost caught unawares, and he fingertips it over the top for a corner. That could have been the moment for Brighton.
There's good reactions from the goalkeeper to deal with that then. Not sure if he tipped it onto the bar and then he went over, did it?
It was scary, very scary for Newport. That's all they need, just some random moment like that across the dips, and that could be it. Their FA Cup run could be over. Corner to Brighton. On the left-hand side, a very busy penalty area waits. Most of the players crowded at the back stick as the corner comes in towards the front post. And it was Ben White who attacked it, but he couldn't hook it goal bound. And that harmlessly goes out for a goal kick. Goal kick to Newport. Away to our left-hand side under the floodlights at Rodney Parade. There is a quarter of an hour to go. Do they start to play conservatively now for extra time, or do they go for it and try and grab a winner before the end of the 90 minutes? Earlier on today in the FA Cup, wins for Barnsley and Bristol City and Chelsea, last season's runners-up into the fourth round. Cheltenham, after extra time, beat Mansfield. League 2, Crawley had a marvellous 3-0 victory against Leeds United. Crawley 62 league places below Leeds, even more than Newport County here are below Brighton. Manchester City, comfortable home win against Birmingham City. 2 goals from Bernardo Silva, the other from Phil Foden. Manchester City 3, Birmingham City 0. And in the 5 o'clock game it finished Marine 0, Tottenham 5. And that was the biggest gulf there's ever been in an FA Cup tie. Great scenes, and I saw some of the early action on the television earlier of Jose Mourinho and the Tottenham millionaires all playing virtually in someone's back garden. It was really good to watch. But well done to Marine, out of the FA Cup, but what excitement they brought to their town in these strange times we currently live in. Basuma here passes the ball back to Jason Steele. Ooh, he's a bit confident there. It's spreading from Lewis Dunk to him as he was almost charged down by Taylor. The ball cleared away on the far side as Brighton try to come forward, and a chance to attack the penalty area now for the new man Percy Tau. Gets to the byline, held up though, good tracking back by Josh Sheehan to remain goal side of him. And Brighton still have possession here. Solly March has a go from distance, always rising, and it ends up clattering into the terracing some distance behind Tom King's goal away to our left hand side. Still 0-0, Jane.
Well, Tau's got a change of pace in him, hasn't he? When he went down that right hand side, he's a little whippet, and he's a small figure, but can be really effective by the look of him when he gets the ball at his feet, going one-on-one with the defender at that moment and managing to get that crossover.
He scored 4 goals this season for Anderlecht in Belgium. Recently recalled from that loan spell tonight, making his Brighton debut 905 days after he signed for Brighton from the South African team Sundowns.
Decent pre-season for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He finally gets to wear the blue of Brighton. Right, here is Solly March, 10 yards inside his own half. 0-0 at Rodney Parade in the FA Cup third round. We've 13 minutes of normal time to go. Tau towards the edge of the penalty area where Gross was his target but couldn't receive. Chance to counter-attack here for Newport. Scott Bennett plays it too far out to the left wing, too far away from Ryan Taylor. Taylor, who's fit again after 3 months out with a hamstring problem. You can tell he's itching to sprint after a decent through ball, but it's like a coiled spring. But Newport haven't been able to deliver that service to him just yet. Taylor and Collins, Ryan Taylor, Lewis Collins, the two up top now for Newport for these closing stages. As Solly March plays a ball across the park. That's a really good run made towards the edge of the penalty area. Sits up in front of Mopé. That was a chance, and he puts it wide. Oh, Brighton are leaving a few opportunities out there tonight. It's set up at his left boot. I think he was so concentrating, Jen, on keeping it low that was his priority, and he didn't get it on target. It was wide.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes the game's changed, hasn't it? It's all Brighton at the moment, finding the spaces, doing well with the ball.
They don't want extra time on this pitch. Trossard with the cross into the penalty area, and it's flicked out for a corner. They're thrown the kitchen sink at it now. Brighton and Hove Albion of the Premier League. They don't want extra time. They want to win this within the 90 minutes, and it's all hands on deck at the moment for Newport to try and keep them out. Proper FA Cup scenes. It's times like this, Jane, I just wish we'd a full house here. Can you imagine? Our seats would be vibrating. The ground would be rocking here if the Newport fans were in and they felt they had the chance of another Premier League scalp. But behind closed doors, the eerie atmosphere at Rodney Parade, can there still be a sprinkle of cup magic? Here's a delivery into the crowded penalty area. I thought that came off Bennett, but the referee says goal kick. Brighton aren't happy with that at all. I think that should have been a corner. Lee Mason says goal kick, and the protests continue, and Adam Webster is shouting at the referee here, but it's not going to make any difference. It's a goal kick to Newport, and they have survived that particular onslaught on their goal.
Well, I thought that was a great defensive header, to be fair, from Newport, but the referee seems to have missed that one.
So 0-0, an evening that has not given us any goals yet, but so much goalmouth action. Contre Gamond, who's since gone off, but he had two big chances of it just during our coverage late. Inside 3 minutes he was hurtling his way into the penalty area, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, tried to bend it into the bottom corner but put it wide. And then later in the first half, Amond took advantage of hesitant goalkeeping by Jason Steele, ran to the edge of his penalty area, found himself in no man's land, jumped for a header that he didn't make, and Amond, with a goal at his mercy, prodded it towards the goal, thought it was going in, and miraculous defending by Lewis Dunk to get back and clear away for Brighton. Brighton, though, who've had chances of their own at the other end as well. Tom King made one brilliant right-handed save in the first half. He's been the busier goalkeeper, that's for sure. Good work by Scott Bennett in the midfield to win possession away from Trossard. And look at this, Bennett holds off Trossard again. Trossard, to his credit, doesn't give up, keeps battling. Bennett doesn't give up, keeps holding on to possession. It's a great tussle between those two, and eventually they run into Lewis Dunk, and that's the end of that. That's like running into a brick wall. Oh, it's a terrible clearance on the edge of his own penalty area by Trossard. He's given the ball away to Ryan Taylor. Pushes it a bit heavy out to the left wing to Ryan Haynes, and that's taken some of the momentum out of things for Newport. Haynes has done well to resurrect a good cross, but there's our man Dunk, cool as a cucumber, cushioned header back to Jason Steele. Still 0-0.
Yeah, the game looks so easy for Dunk right now, doesn't it?
I don't want to put the curse on him. I don't want to say he's setting himself up for a fall, but he's been absolutely flawless in this game. Here is Solly March on the left-hand side for Brighton into Proper. There's a good dummy sold. Oh, why didn't he take it on himself there? Pascal Gross had a sight of goal, and he tried to return a 1-2 when really he might have just taken it on and shot himself. That was inside the penalty area, and it goes back to what I say, apart from Mopé, do enough of these Brighton players, is their first instinct to shoot? They always seem to be looking for an intricate pass.
Well, what they have done over the last 10-15 minutes is they've upped the tempo of this game, haven't they? Everything has been played a lot quicker.
I said a few moments ago, I think it dawned on them, if we don't score here, we're going to have to play in this pitch for another half an hour, and they want to get back to the cosy, smooth pitches of the Premier League. Ball cleared away by Mickey Dimitru for Newport. Can Newport of League Two come up with a stunning winner here? When they beat Leicester a few seasons ago, the winning goal came right at the end. Here is Collins on the right-hand side, number 21 for Newport, hangs in across on the right-hand side, down goes Webster, controls it under pressure from Taylor, and they haven't fully gotten away, and it's the shot, and it's saved by Steele. Josh Sheehan's shot was low and hard, and Jason Steele saved it out for a corner, so close to a late winner for Newport.
What an opportunity that was. Rushu, was it the defender or was it the goalkeeper that actually blocked that in the end? Great strike from the edge of the box, but it hasn't managed to go in the back of the net.
Josh Sheehan put the laces through that low and hard, and it's cannoned out for this corner. Corner on the right-hand side for Newport. Can they apply the late pressure with 8 minutes to go at Rodney Parade? It's been a good cup tie. 0-0 between Newport of League Two and Premier League Brighton and Hove Albion. Liam Shepherd in possession after a short taken corner. Taking on Trossard here. Keeping the ball alive. Sheehan moves it back to Matthew Dolan. Doesn't fancy launching it into the box where all his teammates are up there waiting. Maybe Haynes will do so now from the left-hand side. He sends it down the left channel to Lewis Collins. Good footwork from him on the sandy pitch at Rodney Parade. Oh, he's done very well, but eventually loses possession under pressure from Webster, and Brighton are still in their final third here. Mopé slips. He was fouled by Labadie. Free kick to Brighton, and a chance for them now to get it down the other end. Will the winner come for the Premier League team, I wonder?
It's end-to-end at the moment, but that last passage of play just highlights there's some areas on this pitch you just don't want to try and play on.
Yeah, I mean, the conditions themselves aren't bad tonight. It's not particularly freezing. There's no icy rain or anything like that we've seen somewhere else around the country in recent days, but the pitch it's difficult. Let's just put it that way. A lot of sand down there. as Ben White controls on the halfway line and tries to bring Brighton on the attack. Good burst. He's made up 30-40 yards. Gets into a crossing position on the right-hand side. He's got support out there from Pascal Gross. Gross gives it back to White. To the byline, right-hand side. Hooks in across. Oh, he hooked it too deep. And it spins away out of the penalty area. And it'll be controlled by Lewis Dunk. Back to goalkeeper Jason Steele, who's come way out of his penalty area here, as Brighton tried to squeeze Newport back with time running out. Just over 6 minutes to play. Davy Proper has possession for Brighton in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, playing from right to left as we look down here at Rodney Parade on 5 Live for the BBC. This is the final FA Cup third round action of the day. It's been a very busy weekend. More to come tomorrow with Stockport against West Ham at 8 o'clock. Yves Bissouma on the edge of the penalty area, plays a 1-2, couldn't quite get on the end of it. Had that fallen for him, he was in, but he couldn't receive the return pass, and anywhere will do for Newport as they slam the ball away.
Oh, Brighton doing some good combination play on the edge of the box there, and I actually think it was Tau that got in the way of his teammate on that final pass. Not happening to get his strikes off on goal yet for Brighton.
Not over yet. If there's going to be a goal, it's going to be a late one. Tau controls in the penalty area on his debut, shoots low, shoots on target, saved by Tom King, diving down onto his knees at the front post. And Tau tried to smuggle it in, tried to beat the goalkeeper at the near post. Tom King made the save, still 0-0. So many chances in this game. I have lost count of the number of shots on target, but no goals to report from here. Reminder, match of the day, FA Cup third round highlights tonight, BBC One at 10:30. There's been some good stories today, especially at Crawley, who beat Leeds United of the Premier League by 3-0. Newport have won themselves an attacking throw in here down the left hand side, and almost slowly and considerably the players make their way into the penalty area. Throw-in's actually taken quickly, and Haynes wins a corner. Well, from almost nothing, there was a throw-in that was midway inside the Brighton half. That has been quickly turned into a corner, and Josh Sheehan jogs across with interest now to take it. Premier League Brighton have got to bring all 11 players back into the penalty area to defend this. Sheehan has got a lot of targets, a lot of yellow jersey teammates in the middle. Taylor, who's come on as a sub, is tall. Here it is, played in, poor corner, low, falls out to Haynes on his less favoured right boot, and he never caught hold of it, and it's too high over the crossbar. It remains 0-0. Goal kick to Brighton.
Oh, disappointing delivery from them there, wasn't it? Look, Haynes has had an opportunity on the second phase, but opportunity for Newport to try and get on the score sheet. Last few minutes of the game.
It's Jane Ledlow, the Wales women's coach, watching this game with us on 5 Live at Rodney Parade, where there's been plenty of incident but no goals. There may be another half an hour coming. If the game does end on 90 minutes, we'll be joining Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton very shortly for 606. Those lines are open, 08085 909 693 if you want to get involved in the debate. But obviously if this goes to extra time, we will stay with the action on 5 Live. Lewis Dunk, there's the mistake. There was a mistake was coming. That was a terrible pass from Dunk. No danger really though. He's just given it away on the halfway line. Liam Shepherd comes forward for Newport, and Dunk rectifies the mistake immediately, wins the ball back for Brighton on the edge of his own box. Now Yves Bissouma, some quick footwork to Trossard on the near touchline, just down in front of us. He'll play it infield into the centre circle. Pascal Gross lays it back. Pitch is definitely impeding things for Brighton here. Ball bobbling and bouncing around the place. White will control it here, and the ball, did it go to play? Just kept it in play on the far side. But just the rudimentary simple things need extra concentration on this bobbly pitch at Rodney Parade. Here comes Proper, who's been busy, seen a lot of the ball since coming on as a substitute in the second half. Solly March, cross on the left hand side, decent height, too close to the goalkeeper. Tom King gathers it to his chest, and there's a Newport player lying in the goal mouth. I'm not sure if that's an injury. I think it's Haynes who's back there. I think he's just adjusting his socks. He's okay. They must be tired, Newport. They've put in an incredible shift here against Premier League opponents tonight. Still 0-0. So King, the goalkeeper, 25 years of age, gives it a big boost. He came on actually for the last half hour of, or just a little bit more than that actually, the second half against Crawley last time out. Not the regular goalkeeper, Tom King, but he has done well when called upon tonight. Could he end up being a penalty shootout hero later on? And these are the thoughts crossing our minds with this deadlock FA Cup third round tie at the moment in the final. Well, just 2 minutes of normal time to go here. We'll find out shortly what's going to be added on for stoppages. There won't be any huge amount. Can there be a late winner? Any goal now will put that team into the fourth round draw, as throw in for Newport goes down the left wing. Webster trying to shield it by the corner flag. Newport keeping it alive with Lewis Collins, and eventually the ball goes out of play, and it will be a throw into Newport, so they remain in the attack here. And we know they've got Dimitri, who's got a long throw at him, so immediately Brighton are all falling back deep inside their penalty area, knowing a long throw is coming here. Dimitri has not got a very long run up. The advertising hoardings, the front row of the stand is close to the edge of the pitch on that far side at Rodney Parade, but he's leaning back against the advertising hoarding. He's going to try and get as long a run as possible. 2 steps, here it comes, launches in the box, out comes Steele, good goalkeeping. Jason Steele gathers that high up above his head and then bowls it out overarm to Trossard on the left hand side. Here comes the Belgian international over the halfway line. Tracking him is Scott Bennett. Great play from Bennett. Been so impressed with him tonight. He's been so strong in the midfield. He's been exactly what a League 2 team has needed against Premier League opponents. Mr. Reliable for them tonight. Here's an interception. Josh Sheehan gets it back for Newport. Plays it up towards the striker Ryan Taylor. He's under pressure though. Proper gets it back, and here is Tau for Brighton. Time very much running out now. 40 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. This is the FA Cup live on the BBC. Can Brighton, the Premier League, score the goal to put themselves into the 4th round to kill off this brave defensive Newport County, who have really played so well against them tonight? Solly March controls with some difficulty. Midway inside the Newport half. Turns. I remember watching Solly March score a very late FA Cup winner against Millwall a few seasons ago. Trossard, left hand side, gets it onto his right boot. Low ball across the edge of the box to Proper. He's got no room to shoot. Here's March. This is the chance. That's the goal that wins it. Solly March breaks Newport's hearts with 2 seconds of normal time remaining. Brighton and Hove Albion finally break the deadlock, and it's Solly March, his 3rd goal of the season. I had just mentioned that Millwall game a few years ago, a quarter-final when he scored in the 95th minute. That was every bit as dramatic. It's a late goal that will surely win this cup tie for Brighton.
Absolutely gutted for the Newport lads right now. Look, they've got a moment to try and get back in this, but is it going to happen? I can't see it. But look, fantastic tempo to that attack from Brighton, wasn't it? Look, as a Premier League outfit, I was kind of expecting to see more of that in this game tonight, but Newport have done so well to limit those moments for Brighton. But in that last opportunity is so gutted for this Newport team. They've worked extremely hard to stay in this match tonight.
It is a goal to break hearts tonight in South Wales. A brave effort by Newport, and on my clock there was 2 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining when Solly March scored the goal, and it was well worked. They didn't just lump it into the box, they kept trying to work some space on the edge of the D, and a lovely left foot from March. He scored against Manchester United and against Villa earlier on this season, the Premier League, and he took it so well. Nothing King, the goalkeeper, could do about it. Here comes Percy Tau down the right hand side. We are in the 4 minutes of stoppages that are being added on. Gross on the edge of the penalty area, under pressure from Scott Bennett. Veers out to the right hand side. They just want to run the clock down now. Brighton and Hove Albion, they've got their lead, and they have possession. And is there enough time for one last chance for Newport County to try and get an equaliser to bring this into extra time? We've got 6:06 coming up very shortly as things stand on 5 Live. You can get involved. 08085 909 693 to get on the air tonight, to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton about this match, about all the other action up and down the football spectrum on this very busy 3rd round weekend in the FA Cup. Here is Liam Shepherd on the right hand side for Newport. They got to go for it now, throw the kitchen sink at it, but he runs into trouble. The goal scorer Solly March wins possession back, and March marches down towards the corner flag on the left hand side. Nothing silly now from Brighton. They've just got to see this out. Trossard midway inside the Newport half gives it back to the halfway line to Ben White. Newport need possession, but I think they're out on their feet now. They look absolutely exhausted, Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, what a fantastic effort they put in tonight. Gutted for them, but look, there's a few moments left. They might have one more opportunity, but there's some eggs out there on there right now.
Graham Potter will go insane if Brighton lose it from here, having scored right on the cusp of full time. Here in stoppages, surely the Premier League side have the wherewithal to see this through. Trossard, just outside the D, tries to roll a ball into the penalty area, and it ends up in the arms of Tom King, so they didn't bring it to the corner flag there. Will they regret it? King blasts it down the field. Webster, the defender for Brighton, under pressure from Ryan Taylor. Back to Steele, who steps out of his felt area. Oh, he just about cleared away for a moment. I thought he was going to give it away to Lavany, but Basuma gets it for Brighton, and they look exhausted now, Newport, as Brighton try to carve through through them. Trossard to within 10 yards of the penalty area. Here's Mopé. This could finish it. Mopé on his left boot. Well, bravely saved. I think it was Bennett who got his body in the way, and the ball ricochets clear, and an exhausted Dolan launches it up over the halfway line. Newport 0, Brighton 1 in the FA Cup. It's almost all over. We've got 30 seconds of stoppages to go, and Brighton are going to try and run the clock down. They're going to make a late change here, and there's all sorts of activity on the far side. This is all over, bar the shouting, you would imagine. That late goal from Solly March surely putting Brighton into the fourth round draw. So what is the change here? Right, the goal scorer is going off. Solly March took the goal really well. He's played well at left wing back all night, and when given that opportunity in a central position, he picked his spot. In the night when we've seen wild efforts, Jane, off target, too high, he made sure that one was heading to the back of the net.
Yeah, look, the tempo of that build-up play, the movement in and around the box in those tight areas was fantastic for the goal. And like I said, I would have expected to see a little bit more of it for the Premiership team tonight. But look, Newport have defended particularly well. Those central areas, they've last-ditch tackles, they've read the game well. But at that moment, space is opened up.
Yeah, well, Bernardo, the Brazilian left-sided defender, has come on in place of March, and Newport have made late changes as well. It's just difficult to see our position here. The back of one side, it's all on the other side of the pitch. It's difficult to see the substitutions that have been made. Here is Ryan Taylor, one last throw of the dice for Newport, as on the edge of the penalty area, the ball sat up just for a moment for Jamie Proctor. He's the player who's come on for Newport, and he tried to shoot from outside the box, but he couldn't get a clean connection. They come again to the League Two side. Bennett goes into the middle of the equaliser. Can you believe it? Shepherd's ball delivered in, and it ends up in the back of the net, and it's stoppage time. Brave League Two Newport refuse to bow down to their Premier League opponents. It might be an own goal, It's an equaliser for Newport, and incredibly, this is not over yet. That's remarkable. 1-1, and Brighton cannot believe it.
It's the best delivery they've put in all night from a Newport perspective, but I do think it was an own goal.
Well, the celebration centred around Proctor there, who'd come on. I'm with you, Jen. I think the last touch came off the goalkeeper. We don't have the benefit of a replay here. I'm sure our producers in the studio will let us know, but it doesn't matter, frankly, who scored. The bottom line is the ball ended up in the back of the net. There is the final whistle to bring the 90 minutes to a close. We thought we were going to be handing to 6:06 to discuss a victory for Brighton and Hove Albion, but it's not over yet. We have got another half an hour to play, and surely the struck nature of Brighton now, they can't believe they've taken off Solly March. They thought it was all over. They've got to play another half an hour, Jane, on this pitch. It's going to be so difficult.
Don't you love the FA Cup? Oh, what a fantastic last 5-second goal there. Fantastic. Just when you think it was all done. Right,
well, I think we can speak to Robbie and Chris. Sorry, we've done an ABB on you here. We've done a bit of burgling of airtime. But what do you make of that, guys? What a remarkable finish to this game, and we're going to have extra time at Rodney Parade. Right, well, they'd go to a penalty shootout when these clubs met last season in the EFL Trophy. Tom King was the goalkeeper, as he is tonight for Newport. He didn't actually save any of the spot kicks, but Brighton missed a few, and that's why Newport ended up winning the game. Anyway, listen, thanks for now to the two boys, Robbie and Chris. They will be burning the midnight oil tonight on 5 Live with a later than advertised 6:06, but this is the nature of 5 Live. We follow the live sport, and we've got another half an hour to go here in this FA Cup third round. Newport 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Own goal by Webster right at the end. Some genuine FA Cup drama. I have no idea the formations of the team, Jane, because both sides made so many substitutes and stoppages there. I don't know who's playing who. I've got my little board in front of me. It's got names scattered everywhere. So this is going to be fun.
I'll try and figure it out for you now in the next
Please
few minutes.
do. Oh, there's a miscue in defence on the far side by Liam Shepherd. Shepherd was the man who delivered the cross for the equaliser, and what a brilliant delivery. Most of the players celebrated with Jamie Proctor on the loudspeakers in the stadium here. They announced Proctor's name as the goal scorer. He'd only just come on, but last touch came off Webster, and that how is 1-1 for now. Let's see how Brighton respond. They've made a few changes themselves, these new rules that you can make the 5 substitutions in the Premier League, so they have taken advantage, both coaches, of that. Credit Graham Potter, when he made that double save late in stoppage time, I thought, well, that's just sort of, over-egging the pudding a bit. I mean, come on, this is all over, what are you doing? But he brought on the attacking players, and the presence of Proctor was involved in the goal, and he'll feel that was part of the success there.
Yeah, but I think he may look back as well and be a little bit frustrated, because there were times where Brighton could have killed the game, taken the ball into a wide area and run down the clock a bit.
Just looking at the number of substitutes made. So now they're in extra time. They are, I believe, allowed to make another one. So we'll keep an eye on that as to whether more changes can be made here. Shout out to Max Sanders, who's a 22-year-old on the bench for Brighton, who's a nephew of Simon Nicholson, who's one of our BBC engineers. So we would very much like him to come on and be an FA Cup hero if that's possible at all. We'll be very much in his camp. He'll be Team BBC Sport if Max Sanders comes on. White has got to throw in on the halfway line for Brighton. Jane's trying to write out the formation of the team to help me out here. As soon as she does, I'll read it out for you, because it's very difficult to tell who's playing where. It's been 5 changes. Half of each team has been replaced very late in the game, all in one thrust. Here is Bernardo. He's come on to play on the left-hand side. He's only had 2 appearances in the Premier League this season. Bernardo, the Brazilian, he's been injured. He's had competition for places as well. I mean, Dan Burns last season and Solly March this season. They've got a lot of options in the left-hand side of defence these days. Brighton is Labadie, the first of the substitutions made by Newport tonight, plays the ball forward, trying to pick out Ryan Taylor, and he's got fresh legs, having come on so late in the game, so he sprints all the way in on Jason Steele, who'll clear it away out to the right-hand side into Ben White. White rolls it back to Steele once again. Now Yves Bissouma, and Brighton have got to try and recover the sort of momentum that they were building, the fluid nature in the build-up to the goal that they did score. They were playing their best football of the game so far. Can they rediscover that stride? Here comes Trossard pushing it in front of Bernardo on the left-hand side. Good challenge. Ball goes out for a corner. First corner of extra time. It's for Brighton on the left-hand side. Yeah, look, completely agree. I think when they did score that goal, the tempo that they were playing at was absolutely superb, and the way they were moving the ball in and around the edge of the box was causing all types of problems for Newport. But can they recapture that tempo to their play? So Brighton take the corner short. Trossard sells a dummy, makes a little burst towards the byline. He's into the penalty area. Then he tries to lay off a short pass, and was it Lewis Collins there who intercepted it? No, I think it was Ryan Haynes, and he clears the ball away for Newport here at Rodney Parade behind closed doors. Can you imagine what the atmosphere would be like here if Newport's fans were able to come in? Can you imagine the Welsh voices in the air as Brighton cross from the left-hand side? They've also brought on Kevin Ellison, the man who's nearly 42 years of age, has come on. He's the second oldest player who's featured in the entire Football League this season. He's on. What a story if he could get the winning goal against Premier League Brighton. Bissouma has possession for Brighton. They're all back, hands on deck, defending now for Newport. As just outside the penalty area on the left-hand side, a chance to cross into the busy penalty area from Trossard. He can't pick out a teammate. It comes straight back to him again. Good close touch control from the Belgian inside the penalty area. Now Bissouma plays it across the edge of the penalty area. White, clever, low ball into the box. Proper tries to lay it off to Percy Tau, the South African, on his much delayed Brighton and Hove Albion debut, but he can't hold on to possession. Newport clear it away, but there's no doubt the League Two team are under pressure here. Brighton are upset. They thought they had won this game. They're angry now. Bernardo to the edge of the penalty area, left hand side, plays a clever ball to Mopé, back to Bernardo. Here comes a delivery into the middle, header on target from Doug. What a save from Tom King. That was brilliant, diving to his left hand side. I'm sure it was going to go in from Lewis Doug. Tom King keeps it at 1-1.
Well, he hasn't played many games recently, is he? But he's on form tonight, the Newport goalkeeper. Great reaction save there.
Tom King denies Lewis Dunk, who's played so well in this game, who has been in the goals lately. Dunk, 2 goals in his last 3 games for the defender. He powered that header exactly where he wanted to put it, and it's like Superman flying through the air. Tom King flashed across his goal from right to left and managed to save it away with his left hand. Really, really good save. Had mentioned there the introduction of Kevin Ellison, this extra change that they're allowed making in extra time. He turns 42 next month. He has played in all 4 divisions of English football. He had an appearance for Leicester in the Premier League. 14 years ago with Tranmere he played against Brighton. That was in a League One match. many years ago, and he gets a chance to play against them early once again. He was released by Morecambe at the start of the season and told that Kevin Ellison was pursuing jobs in factories and in special needs education, and Michael Flynn rang him up and he said, "Do you want to play on?" And he said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." And here he is in the FA Cup and he's playing against Brighton. I mean, what a story. Number 22 in his back, and Kevin Ellison on the attack here for Newport, who've got an attacking throw-in down the left-hand side. Dimitru wipes the ball on his shirt. Can he propel this high and long into the penalty area? This is something they'll have rehearsed so often in training. Dimitru launches it in. Ellison tried to attack it at the front post. Brighton, though, clear away. Mope comes running with possession out of the penalty area. Newport had committed a lot of bodies forward. Now they're a bit thin at the back. The goalkeeper King comes out of the penalty area and he beats Trossard in the chase. That was high risk, but he gets away with it. And then when the ball is played forward, Taylor was coming back from an offside position, and that is a free kick to Brighton. That's the danger, Jane, for Newport as they committed bodies forward there. They were very nearly cut out of the back.
Yeah, it's a great game to watch, isn't it? Even in extra time now, it's fantastic.
It has been full of incident throughout, full of chances this match, and for 90 long minutes it was an entertaining 0-0. If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, Solly March scored just as the clock struck 90 minutes, but then in stoppage time an own goal by Adam Webster after a late throw of the dice from 4th tier Newport County, and the club who have claimed plenty of big scalps in cup competitions. 6 teams from higher divisions they've knocked out in recent years. Can they do it again here? They have forced themselves into extra time. They've now got a free kick which is wide out on the right hand side, midway inside the Brighton half. Crowded penalty area in the middles. Shepherd delivers it, right-footed. Labadie got up, trying to have a connection. There's a shot on the edge of the box from Josh Sheehan, and enough bodies back there for Brighton to repel that away and clear. And it's all the way back to Tom King, dressed in purple, away to our right-hand side. Newport 1, Brighton 1. 5 Live from the BBC in the FA Cup third round. 54 league places between them. Rodney Parade, a pitch that's cut up and covered with sand, and the teams trying to do their best. They both like playing decent football as well. It's been a game full of incident. Both goalkeepers have made impressive saves. Here is Josh Sheehan playing the ball forward for Newport, up towards Jamie Proctor on loan from Rotherham. Back to Sheehan again. He launches it high towards Ellison. Ellison unable to get onto it though inside the penalty area, and White should be able to clear for Brighton. Good touch to veer away from the pressure of Ellison to bring possession back into the midfield. Proper nudges it ahead to Sheehan, on to Neil Mope. Brighton trying to show their Premier League quality here. Strong challenge by Dimitru. He's hurt himself in the process. He's out of position now as Trossard attacks the penalty area for Brighton on the left hand side, and a last gasp challenge from Sheehan puts the ball out for a corner to Brighton. The Premier League side of a corner on the left hand side. 1-1.
Brighton are dangerous when they break quickly, aren't they? But not managing to get strike on goal again. bit like the trend of the first half, to be fair. Lots of opportunities where they broke quickly, but not managing to get that strike on goal at the end of it. But a corner nonetheless.
Brighton have only had 2 wins in the Premier League all season. They thought they had won this one late on. 1-1 for now. Corner comes in high and hopeful and shielded by Proctor. Did well to ensure that Adam Webster couldn't get near it. Just stood his ground. And the ball goes out for a goal kick. Goal kick to Newport. Away to our right hand side. The clock ticks on. We're in the 100th minute here. 5 minutes to go until half time in extra time. So Tom King plays ball boy himself. No real urgency now for Newport. And I think back, and we didn't come back to this at the time, Jane, but 1-0 in stoppage time. Trossard took the ball on and tried to attack. When the option was there to go for the corner flag, he lost the ball. Newport came down the other end and scored. I mean, that is rule number 1 when you're in school playing football. That's what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something said about that when they reflect on this game. Brighton.
Steep learning curve for young Sandro Trossard, promising player, full Belgian international now. He's played 3 times for his country this season alone. But if he could do that again, he would have either booted the ball into the river or he'd have run towards the corner flag and into the clock. As it was, Newport attacked, Shepherd's cross deflected into his own net by Webster, and 1-1. If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, Solly March had put Brighton ahead just before the clock went into stoppage time, but in that stoppage time period, Newport made it 1-1. And we are bearing down on half-time and extra time. Remember, one way or the other, there is a winner tonight. even if it means we've got a penalty shootout on 5 Live at Rodney Parade this evening. Here come Brighton on the attack with Trossard near the corner flag. This is what he should have done at the end of the regulation time. He's holding on to the ball, shielding it from Liam Shepherd, who's trying desperately to get him off. And Trossard trying to get into a crossing position. This is the corner flag that Brighton are attacking down the left-hand side. He's wriggling, jiggling, twisting, turning, but he can't shrug off Liam Shepherd, who's showing really good energy here this late in the game. Dunk picks it up, miles out, has a shot, bounces and flashes only just wide. I think that grazed the side netting. He was a long way out, Lewis Dunk, but just for a moment he had Tom King concerned.
Well, to be fair, he's had a good game, hasn't he? We've mentioned him quite a lot through the game, so why not have a try with that opportunity and that space to use there?
He's had a very good match. He almost scored with a header, saved by Tom King. He's had that attempt there, Lewis Dunk. His only FA Cup goal in the past came against Brentford 6 years ago in a third round game. Here tonight in the third round, can his Premier League Brighton team see off their League Two opponents? Dunk challenges for the ball and wins it for Brighton. Sliding in, David Long King gets it back for Newport. Given away in the midfield though, Basuma for Brighton. On to Leandro Trossard. And then the Premier League side attack down the left-hand side with Pascal Gross, turns in on his right boot. Nice ball to Trossard in the penalty area. Tight angle, left-hand side, tries to clip in across to try and pick out a teammate, but Labadie was back there to disrupt him, and now chance of a counter-attack for Newport. They play it up to Taylor on the halfway line, well defended by Webster. Webster shields him and turns him away from the direction he wants to go in and sends Newport back into their own half. Basuma has it for Brighton. 1-1 on 5 Live from the BBC. An extra time at Rodney Parade in the FA Cup third round. This is Ben White to Davy Proper, who's been a good player for Brighton since coming on in the second half of the regulation time. Gross involved again, 12 yards outside the penalty area, central position. Haynes has come across to track him all the way, not allowing him an inch to breathe. Brighton are forced back to the halfway line, and Newport, well, we were saying they were getting tired towards the end of the 90 minutes. They are putting in every effort now, straining every sinew. Clever ball by White into the penalty area, but just too far in front of Percy Tau. And Tom King dives on it and gets it back for Newport.
Good opportunity, but he just delayed that pass forward there, Ben White, and Tau just wanted to do that split second earlier and he might have been in.
Only once this season have Newport come back to win, having conceded the opening goal in a league game. But they have come from 1-0 down here, and can they win this FA Cup tie in extra time? We've got 90 seconds of the first half remaining, and a throw in just down below us. This is tuning in, expecting to hear 6:06. We will be with Robbie and Chris as soon as the live action is finished here at Rodney Parade, but it's gripping at the moment. Haynes takes his time over a throw in for Newport. I wonder if you're a fourth tier team now and you're playing Premier League opponents, at the back of your mind you must be thinking, do we just try and hang on for the penalties here? I mean, how much do they think we can win this in extra time, do you think, Jane?
Well, it doesn't look like the mindset is that right now, does it? You know, they're pressing high up on the pitch. They are trying to build. It's not a case of them banking in and dropping off. They are trying to compete.
Newport, who have gone on to reach the fourth round in 2 of the last 3 seasons. And here come Brighton. Proper up to the halfway line, pushes it in front of Bernardo. Now he's got a bit of room to run into, and Shepherd's had to guard a central defensive location here instead of run out to challenge him on the Brighton left wing. Trossard gets to the edge of the box, tried a back heel, which Proctor has done well to intercept, but he loses it again. Trossard into the penalty area, tries another smart turn, but can't swivel with possession. He loses it. Brighton get it back with Bernardo, but they're back to the halfway line. And Newport are hanging on here, but they're living a little bit dangerously. The 41, almost 42-year-old Kevin Ellison is running around trying to cover as much ground as he can. There's a very important header for Long King. It wouldn't have counted anyway because the flag was up, but he was stretching with Mopé lurking in behind him. Mopé couldn't get there. Had he done so, he would have been offside. There is the whistle for the break. It's half-time in extra time. This is 5 Live from the BBC, and we are 15 minutes, Jane Ludlow, away from potentially an FA Cup penalty shootout in the third round. But here we go then, 15 minutes remaining, and then one way or the other, even if it takes a penalty shootout, we find who goes into tomorrow's draw, when they will be drawing lots for the 4th and the 5th round. They're doing the 2 together tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Brighton back playing from right to left as we look down now. Bernardo jumps for a header and can't get there. The way they're lining up at the moment, Steele is the goalkeeper. It's a back four for Brighton with White on the right hand side, Webster and Dunk in the middle, Bernardo the left back in midfield, Proper and Basuma and Gross in the middle, Trossard's on the left, Percy Tau, the South African who's on the ball at the moment, he's in the right wing, and Mopé is the central striker up front. Here comes White up from right back, gets to a crossing position on the right hand side. He's under pressure from Mickey Dimitri, he's done well to swivel. There's a back heel from Pascal Gross. White gets to the corner flag, but he doesn't have enough room to cross it in. Good hard work from Dimitri there, who could have given up the ghost when the ball was originally played by White, but he stuck to him like glue, and Brighton have been forced back. They still have possession, but they're back around the centre circle. 1-1 on 5 Live from the BBC. We are in the second half of extra time. Trossard, good ball to Proper, breaks into the penalty area in the left hand side for Brighton. No chance to shoot though. Bernardo comes across to try and help him. This is Trossard, just outside the box, right footed, flicks it in. Tau controls with his back to goal, swings it across. White's got a fancy one here as he takes a touch to control it, then he shoots. Why didn't he hit it first time? And he was crowded out and the shot repels away, but Brighton remain on the attack. Chance to cross, Gross from the right hand side, controlled by Josh Sheehan. He wallops it up, anywhere will do, up to Ryan Taylor, who's being marked by Adam Webster. Webster wins the ball off Taylor and plays it to Bernardo on the left hand side, and here come Brighton again, and they won't want the penalties. They'll want to win this in the extra time period. Good interception again by David Long King, continuing this assured performance we've seen from him tonight here on 5 Live at Rodney Parade. Brighton come once more. Trossard on the left hand side, low ball into Mopé. We've already had some FA Cup drama today with Crawley beating Leeds. Can Newport knock Brighton out of the FA Cup? They might have a chance to attack here. Jamie Proctor up to the halfway line. He's outnumbered. He's got fresh legs though. He's only come on recently in the game. He holds it up as long as he can and then plays it off Pascal Gross. And from that tight position, that's about as good as he could achieve. He wins a throw-in for Newport on the halfway line. Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? Look, there's blue shirts all around him, manages to get a throw for his team and give him a little bit of a respite, and hopefully they can get going again and see what they can do in this last 10 minutes now.
Right, here's another change. Another change. Is it Veltman who's come on? Difficult to see again. This is all over the far side of the pitch from us. Joel Veltman, the former Ajax man, comes on in place of Ben White. So a very experienced defender coming on for Brighton. As Basuma plays a nice pass in front of Bernardo on the left hand side, and a chance for Brighton to come forward once again. No doubt that they have done most of the attacking in this extra time period. Tau on his Brighton debut to Bernardo, onto Trossard. All three of those came on as substitutes in this game. Now Proper and a bit more space in the middle. Ellison, the almost 42-year-old, doing his best to stick to him. Veltman comes forward for the first time, having come on as a substitute. Gives it to Proper on the edge of the penalty area. Low ball. He was looking for Percy Tau, but it's cut out, and Newport are able to clear the ball away. All hands on deck now for the League Two team. Can they dig in deep? Can they find that extra bit of energy? Can they suck the oxygen into their lungs and find something to cling on here against their Premier League opponents who are in desperate need of a win themselves? And we mentioned it before with Sheffield United getting a win in the FA Cup lately, yesterday. Brighton need a win. Such has been their form in the Premier League. One win since September. If they were to lose here to Newport, what would that do to the morale in their changing room and the Premier League survival battle that they have to come in the weeks ahead? Free kick to Newport, and this now a chance for them to shift up a little bit, because they've been sitting very deep, Jane, on the edge of their own penalty area in the second half of extra time.
Look, there's been moments in this game today where you see the quality, it's come out in bags and bags from Brighton, but it hasn't happened often enough, has it? And to be fair to Newport, they've battled really well. They've created some good opportunities, sometimes from quick breaks, and obviously the goal, great delivery in from the right-hand side for that. So, look, it's been a good cup tie, isn't it?
Ellison wins a header on the edge of the penalty area. Basuma, though, gets it back for Brighton. It's been a great watch, this. I mean, this is why people do get excited about the FA Cup, because you never know. Premier League opponents against a team from the fourth tier, this shouldn't be a proper contest. I mean, it should be, time and time again, the Premier League side who wins. But every year, and this is why we keep coming back for it, we get these surprise performances. And talk to Crawley about their game against Leeds earlier on today. So Villa Park could fight it out with the kids, and some of them only 17 years of age, did so well against a very strong Liverpool team. And tonight Newport against a Brighton side. And, you know, Robbie mentioned it there with the little break ahead of extra time. Robbie Savage said that Brighton have a good record lately in the FA Cup. They reached the semi-final 2 years ago. They were beaten by the eventual winners, Manchester City. So they know how to get it done in this competition. But they have found themselves bogged down at Rodney Parade tonight, and such drama when Brighton took the lead right at the very end of the regulation 90 minutes and thought they were through, but Newport coming up with that equaliser in extra time, and the clock ticks on, and we've now played 110 minutes on my clock, and we could be 10 minutes away from a penalty shootout on 5 Live.
Look, if Brighton do end up losing this game, they will be very frustrated with the decisions they made in the last few minutes of normal time.
It really is nothing to lose now for Newport. I mean, it has been nothing to lose all night. This was a free shot, but especially now, they've done themselves proud. No matter what happens now, they've done well. Here they come on the attack. Proper clears away for Brighton. Back into the mix from Ryan Haynes, who's had a good game tonight for Newport, but that wasn't his best pass of the evening, and it goes out for a goal kick. And if they lose on penalties, there's no shame for Newport, whereas Brighton lose on penalties, well, people say, hey, why didn't you win the game in the 90 minutes when you were 1-0 up? Here is Lewis Dunk on the edge of his penalty area to Bernardo on the left-hand side. He plays it forward, left-footed over the halfway line, picking out Pascal Gross, midway inside the Newport half. Newport have got to get bodies back now. Good run, made by Tau, into the penalty area, shoots left-footed and wide. And the referee has blown the whistle, and I think there's a foul in the build-up there anyway. It's not for offside because the flag didn't raise on the far side. I think Tau has fouled the defender as he tried to run past him. Either way, it is a free kick to Newport. But I think Brighton fans will be impressed with what they've seen of Percy Tau so far. This guy they signed 2.5 years ago, and finally getting to make his debut tonight, he's looked good. Yeah,
agree. When he's out in a wide area and facing somebody up 1v1, he's doing really well. But he's also, his timing of runs in and around those centre-backs is causing him all types of problems.
I do, Jane, before every game that can go to penalties, I make a little chart beforehand. I have to say, I didn't think I'd be getting to use it today, but I'm now glad I've got the penalty chart. Will it be sprung into action in 8 or 9 minutes from now? Newport, who've never gone to penalties in an FA Cup tie in their entire history. So this could be a first tonight if we do go to spot kicks at Rodney Parade. Possession with Adam Webster all on his own, midway inside the Brighton half. Newport is sitting deep here. They don't want anything flashy now. They are willing to just absorb what is thrown at them as Veltman comes forward down the right hand side. Joel Veltman, 29 next week, the Dutch international. This is his first taste of the FA Cup. I think when he left the Champions League in Ajax, he didn't think he'd be coming to play at Rodney Parade this season, but that's the way football works. Bernardo with a header down to Trossard. Can Premier League Brighton come up with a late winner in extra time, as they did, or at least they thought they did? A late goal at the end of the regulation 90 minutes. Cross from the right hand side for Webster. Mopé almost in, but Tom King makes the save. It bounced in front of Mopé. He lunged at it. He couldn't get a connection, and King, with nerves of steel, just stood his ground, and it popped into his arms.
How did he not connect with that? Oh, he's inches away.
Incredible. It is maybe just not Brighton's night. Mopé, their top scorer, and he lunged out. Any touch at all, he'd have flicked it in front of King, and King must have been tempted to react to that, to anticipate a touch from Mopé, but he didn't. He stood his ground, and the ball came straight through into his arms, and he's had a good night tonight, Tom King. There was nothing he could do about Solly March's goal, and he's made some excellent saves otherwise, as here is Just Labadie, who came on as a substitute in the first half, gives it up to Kevin Ellison, the veteran. Back to Labadie again on the halfway line, but the flag has been raised, and it's an offside decision. And it's a free kick to Brighton, and the clock ticks on. A reminder that 6 of 6 is coming with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton just as soon as the live action is over here. The lines have been open for some time now. 08085 909 693 if you want to get on the air on 5 Live tonight. If you're a Brighton fan, how did your team not see that out? 1-0 up in stoppage time against League 2 Newport, but this is the magic of the FA Cup as Webster comes forward for Brighton. Passes out to Veltman. Can he deliver across equality? Oh, that's really good. Into the box, but Shepherd wins the header for Newport, and then Ellison heads it out of the box. And that might have been a handball by Ryan Taylor. Play on, says Lee Mason. Proper gets it back for Brighton. Can they flex their muscle and show the Premier League quality now and produce a winner here as Bernardo attacks down the left hand side? Oh, he scuffed his cross. That wasn't Premier League quality. Poor from Bernardo, and straight at the goalkeeper Tom King.
Oh, it was a great opportunity there. He had loads of space over on this left hand side to get a good delivery in, blue shirts. getting in that 6-yard area, but a poor delivery in, and easy for the goalkeeper King to just pick up.
Brighton, you look at the other teams down around the relegation zone in the Premier League, they have scored more goals than most of their fellow strugglers. They've scored more than twice as many as Burnley. They've scored pretty much twice as many as Fulham. But they've only been able to score once here away from home tonight at Rodney Parade against an opponent who has been 54 league places below them. 1-1 for now, and time very much running out here ahead of a penalty shootout. 5 minutes to play. Oh, the goalkeeper King has come out, and Tau got there ahead of him. Now he's got to try and get back into his goalmouth. King, it's held up for Mopé on the edge of the penalty area. He just couldn't shoot, even with the goalkeeper out of position. There was no room to try and get a shot on target there, but it was a chance for Brighton. It's still alive. Trossard in the penalty area. Here's Tau. Oh, he shot it a mile wide. A chance for the South African to score on his debut, and he had no composure. He just lashed it, and it flew miles off target. It's still 1-1.
Do you know, he actually started that movement because he ran in behind a player who's done really, really well tonight is Long King, but in that build-up play, he steps out and Tau sees that space and gets in behind, and there's a good ball up to him. But look, it was good play, but nothing's come from it again from a Brighton perspective, is it?
Just over 3 minutes of extra time to go. Penalties looming in the FA Cup third round tonight on 5 Live and on the BBC Sounds app, as King clears it up into the chilly night air. It bounces once and straight out of play. Brighton get possession back immediately. They have a throw in just inside their own half. Graham Potter probably relieved that there's no FA Cup replays this season. He wouldn't have wanted to have to squeeze another match into the schedule, but this is an extra half an hour on the legs of the players. You've got a busy schedule. 2 more away games in a row after this. Manchester City away on Wednesday in the Premier League. Trip to Leeds, who'll run the socks off anyone next weekend. Will this have an effect? This extra endurance the team have had to put on. He has been able to make a lot of substitutes. The rules have helped him in that regard. Here come Brighton. Down the left-hand side, Bernardo with another poor pass. That's 2 in a row from the Brazilian. He waves his left arm as apology. It was intended for Trossard. It was too far ahead of him. And Brighton, Jane Ludlow, and I don't want to tempt fate, and of course they could come up with a late winner, but they've not been able to turn the screw here in extra time against a team from the 4th tier.
No, they've looked good when they've broken quickly up until the edge of box area, but then it's that final pass. And look, you can blame parts of the pitch because it is awful in areas in Rodney Parade tonight, but there's been times where you just go, look, you can't keep blaming the pitch. There's got to be better decisions made and better detail on passes at times.
That's the voice of Jane Ludlow, coach of the Welsh women's team, watching this game with us here tonight on 5 Live. It's been an entertaining night of FA Cup football. By the way, you can see both goals. Solly March's strike in the 90th minute for Brighton, and Webster's own goal in the 6th minute of stoppage time to make it 1-1. They are both available on the BBC Sport website right now. You can peruse them at your leisure. Loads of FA Cup third round content on there. Great stories up and down the land on a very busy weekend of football, and it ain't over yet. Sunday night, we're well past 10 o'clock. 6:06 is being delayed. Robbie Savage will be denied his beauty sleep as Ryan Haynes launches it high into the penalty area. Header away by Adam Webster. That's a good defensive relieving of pressure from him. Mopé completes the clearance, but Brighton had dragged everyone back to defend that, and there's no one up top. And that's not a good clearance by King, and he's very lucky that it went straight to Liam Shepherd. It's one mistake like that can undo all the hard work tonight. Ellison plays it forward. Dunk wins the header for Brighton. Brighton pinned back inside their own half. Dunk looks up, he wants to give it back to the goalkeeper, but that route has been blocked by Ryan Taylor, so he's got to play his way out of trouble, but he's unruffled. Dunk did well, Bernardo less so. Not been impressed with Bernardo tonight. He's an experienced player, seen a lot of him in recent years, but he's looked rusty, hasn't played much this season, and he's not caught up with the tempo of the game. I think his Brazilian boots were not made for this Rodney Parade pitch.
No, you're right, he has been really loose at times with his passing, hasn't he? And that last one was probably the worst of the lot.
The only sand he wants to play on is the beach in Rio de Janeiro. He's not interested in this sand to fill in the divots from the rugby at Rodney Parade. Right, is there a late throw of the dice here? 30 seconds of extra time to go. Possession at the back with Adam Webster, the man whose own goal has kept Newport in this. Can he rectify things? No, terrible pass. Too much on it, way in front of Veltman. Veltman's got to sprint off 30 yards behind the goal to play ball boy here because he wants to get the ball back in play as quickly as possible. Webster should have done better there, and it just feels like that's going to be that. A minute, 1 minute to be added on, and penalties on the way on 5 Live, it appears.
What a great performance from Newport yet again in a cup competition.
Newport, who have had 11 penalties this season outside of penalty shootouts, and they've scored 9 of them. Mind you, Padraig Amon takes penalties and he's not on the pitch at the moment. There's been so many alterations in the lineup. What a story it'll be if Kevin Ellison, who turns 42 next month, and I know I keep repeating that stat, but 42 playing against, an outfield, even a 42-year-old goalkeeper would be ancient, but that's really good. Labadie wins the ball here off Basuma, and Basuma, who was midway inside his own half, makes an error, and here is Ellison, and his shot comes off Lewis Dunk. That was almost one of the great FA Cup moments. Ellison's shot was cannoning in, but blocked away. And late in the game, it's Newport banging on the door, looking for a late winner ahead of a penalty shootout. They've got a corner. He gave that everything, Ellison. What a shot, and defended away.
Oh, he had his hands on his head, bless him, because oh my God, he caught that so well. That was going in the back of the net, wasn't it?
Oh, we gave him the big build-up. He did everything right, Kevin Ellison. I think it was Dunk who got his head in the way to clear it away. Remarkable stuff. Right, we are deep in stoppage time. Ball played it. It was Webster who cleared it out. That's it. The 120 minutes of live football has failed to separate them. It is 1-1 here at Rodney Parade, and we are going to have a penalty shootout to decide who goes through to the 4th round. It's been thrill a minute. It's been end to end. There has been so much incident and action, and I have to say, Newport County, credit to them as a team from the 4th tier, to take nothing away from Brighton, but they are the Goliath in this particular tale, and they should be able to win a game like this. And for a long slog of 120 minutes, Newport have hung on in there. They've come from 1-0 down in stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes to force the period of extra time, and then right at the end of the 120 minutes they nearly won it when Kevin Ellison's shot was cleared away with some last gasp defending. No matter what happens now, Jane Ludlow, Newport can hold their heads high.
Yeah, they definitely can, but knowing these guys as a team, they want the win, don't they? And would you bet against them right now?
Oh, well, look, the mind games, we all become amateur psychologists, I think, with penalties. Who knows, is this good for Brighton? Is this bad for Brighton? Who knows? Right then, we are ready to go. The penalties will be away to our left-hand side, the open end of the ground where the small few rows of terracing are. In the background we can see tents that have been put up because it's actually a big COVID testing centre in what is normally the car park of Rodney Parade, and we see those tents and all the bollards and the various paraphernalia involved in an operation like that, floodlights and the whole lot, and that's all happening in a very stark reminder of what's going on in the world, this 2021 that we live in now, with COVID testing taking place probably 40 yards away from a penalty shootout in the FA Cup. What very strange times we live in. If you tried to describe this to someone 12 months ago, they just wouldn't be able to get their head around it. I think some of us still can't. But here we go. The long, lonely walk has been taken by Josh Sheehan, the captain for Newport, to take the first penalty up against Jason Steele. It's a short run up from Sheehan, and it's saved by Steele. He went to the goalkeeper's right. Brighton goalkeeper picked the right way. Brilliant save from Steele. Short run up from Sheehan, and Newport already now on the back foot.
There's plenty of pace on the strike, wasn't there? Right foot curler there, but what a great top hand save from the goalkeeper.
The first penalty of the penalty shootout has been missed by 4th tier Brighton, and Josh Sheehan, who's put in such a wonderful performance. He scored not so long ago. He scored last month against Salford from the penalty spot, and he took the short run-up. I'm never a fan of short run-ups. Here comes Pascal Gross for Brighton. This is a short run-up, mind you. 2 steps from Gross. Here he comes, and he puts the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Brighton Hove Albion lead 1-0 in the penalty shootout. Pascal Gross, cool as you like, rolled it into the bottom right-hand corner. The German makes it Newport 0, Brighton 1 on penalties.
Yeah, that fake movement sold the goalkeeper, didn't it? And he just slotted it into that other side of the net.
Oh, the pressure now on Dumitru. One penalty taken, one penalty missed for Newport. Dumitru really does need to score this. Never scored an FA Cup goal in his career. Had a penalty saved in the last round against Salford. This says so much about his wherewithal that he would step up again. That was in regulation time. This is a shootout. Dumitru saved again by Steele. He went the same way. The goalkeeper's right. Jason Steele dives out, and it's 2 penalties back to back, saved by the Brighton and Hove Albion goalkeeper. And it remains 1-0 to Brighton in the shootout, but Newport have now missed twice.
If I'm honest, if I'm the next Newport player up, I'm playing it to the other side of that net to see if he's that strong on that side.
Oh, that is back-to-back penalty misses in the FA Cup for Mickey Dumitru. Had a penalty saved against Salford in the last round, steps up to take one here in the penalty shootout, and it's saved again, this time by Jason Steele. Mopé steps up for the next penalty. There's a delay in getting a ball to him. Will this play on his mind? He pats down the area around the penalty spot as he waits. The referee, Lee Mason, hands him the ball. Tom King, who was sent the wrong way with the first Brighton penalty, can he step up to the mark and make a save here? Mopé, who's been top scorer for Brighton this season in the Premier League. Here he comes, staggered run up, right-footed, saved by King! That same side, down to the goalkeeper's right, and he pushes it away. We've had 4 penalties taken, 3 of them remarkably have been saved now in a row. Incredible scenes at Rodney Parade.
Which way is Labadie going to go? What do you reckon? Is he going to go that same side? Oh, I don't know.
I'm now going down the reverse psychology route of pick the same side. Absolutely. Labadie steps up. A chance to level the shootout, which seemed to be slipping away from Newport. Here he comes, Labadie. A big thrust down the middle, no messing about. Straight down the middle. Goalkeeper almost had to get out of the way of it. It was hot shot Hamish stuff from Labadie, and it's 1-1 in the shootout now. Newport have taken 3 kicks. Brighton have taken 2. And Bissouma will be the next to step forward here for Brighton and Hove Albion. Yves Bissouma twice had to receive treatment during the game for injuries. Mali, international, scored against Everton in the Premier League in October. Also scored in the last game of last season in July. Here he is, Bissouma, very straight run-up, runs onto the ball directly, and he's hit the post! It's another penalty that doesn't go in. Both sides have taken 3 penalties. Both have missed 2 of them. Bissouma hits the post, and I don't know how, but it's only 1-1 on penalties here at Rodney Parade.
To be honest, if I was going up soon, I wouldn't be trying to hit this left-hand side, because every strike to this left-hand side of the net, well, it's been saved, right?
Labadie had the right idea, didn't he? Straight down the middle. Right, here comes the latest. It's Ryan Taylor, who came on just before the end of the 90 minutes. Left-footed penalty, and he puts it into the top corner. That's how you do it. Very composed penalty from the Welshman, Ryan Taylor. And for the first time, Newport lead in the penalty shootout 2-1, but they have taken 1 kick more than their opponents. Jane Ludlow.
Oh, that was a decent finish, wasn't it? Top corner, left foot curler. Not much chance for the goalkeeper.
Right, Lewis Dunk, 2 goals in his last 3 games in the Premier League. Very assured performance tonight at the heart of the Brighton defence. And the experienced boyhood Brighton fan steps forward to place the ball for the 4th penalty kick of the night for the visitors. They've only scored 1 of them. Short run up from Dunk, right-footed. Oh, the keeper got a hand to it, but it's in. He chose the right way, Tom King. He got his gloves on the ball, but the power on the penalty from Lewis Dunk saw it into the back of the net, and it's 2-2 in the shootout. Up next for Newport comes Liam Shepherd, right wing back, whose cross set up the equalising goal in the 6th minute of stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes. Liam Shepherd, right-footed penalty up against Jason Steele. He saved it again! Steele dives to his left-hand side this time, and it's another missed penalty. 5 penalties Newport have taken. They've only scored 2 of them. And heartache for Liam Shepherd as Steele denies Newport again. 5 Live from the BBC at Newport County's Rodney Parade. And in this penalty shootout, it is still 2-2. And an opportunity to win it here for Brighton. If they can score for a third penalty, in what is their 5th attempt, and Trossard, well, this would be ironic, the player who didn't run to the corner flag ahead of the equaliser, the Belgian international, again a short run up. Here he comes with the green boots, and he's missed. He's put it down the middle and saved by Tom King, who laughs in his face afterwards. He tried to fool the goalkeeper by just rolling it down the middle. King kicks it away. It's a shocking penalty from Trossard. What was he thinking? Soft and weak, and that's terrible. And Newport cling on. That could have won the shootout. Trossard, head in his hand, strolls back to the halfway line.
It was nearly as bad as the decision not to drive into the corner when you had an opportunity to win the game.
Sudden death at Rodney Parade. Both teams have taken 5 penalties. They have scored 2 each. And the latest man to step up is Jamie Proctor. 2 goals this season, one of them already in the FA Cup. And he scores. Good penalty. Lofts it over the goalkeeper. Jason Steele picked the right side, but it was just above him. And that was very composed. Good penalty from Jamie Proctor. Advantage to Newport. Davy Proper must score now, or Brighton are out of the FA Cup. Reminder that 6:06 is coming up as soon as this penalty shootout is over. Will Proctor's penalty there be the moment that wins it for Brighton? Proper must score. The Dutch international. He's played in Brighton's last 2 games in the Premier League. Those have been in his only league appearances this season. Came on as a substitute in this match. He must score. No margin for error now. Proper, right-footed penalty, slow run up, beautiful penalty, sends the keeper the wrong way. That is as relaxed as we've seen tonight. Really good. Brighton needed that, all square in sudden death.
Well, penalties are similar to the actual match, aren't they? It's gone either way.
We go on down through the line. We're now reaching the guys who didn't think they'd be taking one. The guys who didn't put up their hand to say, I'll have a spot kick. And we're thinking they would just be standing in the penalty shootout watching on. Scott Bennett, the latest to stand up for Newport County in sudden death, and it's saved by Steele again. What a performance from the Brighton goalkeeper tonight. And again he dives to his right and he saves from Scott Bennett, and now Brighton have a chance to win it as Adam Webster, the man whose own goal forced extra time, will be the player with a chance to send Brighton into the 4th round.
Steele's had a stormer in this penalty competition, hasn't he? You could question his decision in the game and the goal that Newport scored, but great performance in the penalty shootout from him.
This can finish it. Adam Webster, he's played against Newport in the past in League 2 at Portsmouth. He's a Premier League player now. Reached the 5th round with Bristol City 2 years ago. Can he put Brighton Hove Albion into the 4th round? He can! He puts it straight down the middle. Tom King dived to his left-hand side. It's been a long old night at Rodney Parade. They have done it the hard way, but Brighton and Hove Albion are into the 4th round of the FA Cup. Newport really couldn't have done any more. They gave this their all, but they came up against a man of steel. Jason Steele, whose continued saves in the shootout have knocked League 2 Newport out of the FA Cup. Jane Ludlow, what an evening of football. Your heart goes out for Newport, but just about Brighton had enough.
Look, it was a great FA Cup match. All credit to Newport. They dug in, didn't they, when they needed to. A great drama at the end of normal time. But unfortunately, penalties wasn't to be tonight for them.
Right, well, there we go. Apologies to the late kick-off to 6:06 tonight, but we hope you enjoyed that bit of FA Cup drama live on your radio this evening on a cold night in South Wales. Newport gave it everything, but Jason Steele with a succession of saves in the shootout. Newport are out, Brighton go through. It's time on 5 Live for 6:06.